Welcome to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Jeck Johnson, Deebs. We got a fun show today. It's like a preseason game. All the faces moving around. Jason's out. Darcy's out. Let's see if we can make this shine. Let's see if we can do better than the Chiefs did. Although there was a lot of positives to get into, all of that and more. Joel Pinfield joins at noon. We'll talk some Royals with him, including Noah Cameron's electric start. Finally, Q let him go the entire 9. Mick Schaefer's back. He joins at 1. We'll listen to the Chiefs. Andy Reid speaking around 11-ish today. I do want to start real quick with something dumb. Typical, I know. I like to get Chick-fil-A for breakfast when I know it's going to be a long day. Like Jason's out, right? So I don't have time to bail during a minute-long segment, heat my food up, and eat lunch, okay? So I'm like, let's get a big breakfast. So what do? Well, I go to Chick-fil-A. Well, here's the thing. There's two ways of looking at this. The guy taking the order at Chick-fil-A goes, Sterling, right? I didn't have a follow-up. I was embarrassed because there's two ways this went around. Either he knows me from radio, or he knows me because I go to Chick-fil-A way too much to get Chick-fil-A breakfast. So, Ryan, let me know next time I see you. If you're listening, Ryan from Chick-fil-A, do you know me from this? Or because I'm the fat ass that keeps going and getting spicy chicken biscuits 3 times a week? Which one do we think it is? I think it's a chicken biscuit, I would imagine.
So you didn't give them the name?
No, because you know how they take your name at Chick-fil-A? They take it, they go, and who's this order for? Yeah. The guy just goes, Sterling, right?
I mean,
it's not a good look.
If it's a very busy Chick-fil-A, then I'd imagine he knows you from radio, because
you'd imagine so. Yeah. But I am a big spicy chicken biscuit guy. I've been slacking. I've been going about 3 times a week. Today is one of those. It's a Monday. Jason's gone. You think I'm not going to power down and crush a spicy chicken biscuit with hash browns and a coffee?
It's the right move.
I'm going to do it. So that was my first, hey, maybe I need to hit the gym and maybe eat nothing for breakfast. Maybe like egg whites.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Coffee.
So I don't know. I thought a very embarrassing thing that happened to me today is I am now getting recognized at Chick-fil-A breakfast. Not a great start to your morning. You got to turn your mic on, Deebs. Can you hear Deebs? I can't hear.
I can't.
Deebs, I think your mic's off.
I think he's got it now.
You got it.
At a fast food place, it's a little different than go at a restaurant you go to all the time, where they get to know you.
It's not Red Door Grill.
Different.
I'm not sitting at the bar at Red Door Grill. I'm at a place that hundreds of folks partake in probably every morning. So I got that going for me, which is nice. I'm now a regular, apparently, to Ryan at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. Good for me. Good for me. All right, let's get into the Chiefs preseason game. I know we've talked about it a lot already, even though the game happened on Saturday. We've been starved for Chiefs. Royals have been 2 scoops of ass. The Chiefs' season last year ended in despair. We've been craving the Chiefs to come back. I get it. It's a preseason game, because here's my thought. Don't know if you had the same thought. My thought was, I'm so glad Chiefs football's back. I don't care if it's preseason. I'm thrilled. And then by halfway through the first quarter, I go, oh, yeah, it's Chiefs preseason. Same thoughts?
I actually enjoyed it up until Nussmeier finally left the game. I actually thought it was some enjoyable football. You got to see some of the younger guys out there, guys we've been hearing and seeing in training camp. And I thought offensively there were some nice spurts. I thought Nussmeier looked really good. Emmett Johnson looked really talented multiple times in the second half, where he was patient, he was breaking tackles. I thought Cyrus Allen made a couple of big plays. R. Mason Thomas was pretty electric off the edge. So the guys you were looking forward to seeing, I thought they played pretty well. Then once Chris Oladokun got in the game, that's pretty much when I turned it off, because he threw an interception, but then it was overturned, but still it was a horrific throw. I mean, when you get to preseason football and you realize Oladokin's the fourth guy to come in, or I guess the third guy because Mahomes didn't play today, and he started multiple games to close out last year. I was impressed with the quarterback play. I thought Justin Fields had some nice moments. Like I said, Nussmeier, this is a guy you got in the 7th round, but if he wasn't banged up and had a different year at LSU, he was not going to be available that late into day 3. So, yeah, even though they lost and the defense kind of collapsed late, there were some good moments from guys that you're probably expecting to get some run this year.
Yeah, I think that was the main takeaway as well. The things that you needed to see, for the most part, we saw. The Nussmeier is intriguing, the Nuss Bus. He's clearly been around Patrick a lot. That rollout to the left, the baseball throw across his body, and it was a dart, and you're like, okay, he's clearly seen Patrick many, many times. What are the chances, and I don't think it's going to happen, but what are the chances that if Nussmeier continues doing this, that he is QB2? Is there a chance that Andy's not traditionally gone that way. He is like the veteran in the past. But, if Nussmeier continues this, he is the 7th rounder. He's the guy on the rookie contract. He's the guy who will be here. Any chance we see Nussmeier? Let's hope it doesn't matter. Let's hope it does not matter. And that's best case scenario. Patrick plays all 17 games. The only game he sits out would be, hopefully, week 18, game 17.
I don't see a world in which Nussmeier is going to be QB number 2. I believe it's going to be Justin Fields. They're going to want somebody in a year like this where Mahomes is coming off injury. They're going to want somebody that started games before. Not to say that Nussmeier couldn't be that guy down the road. He's viewed as that type of quarterback because you took him in the 7th round. Fields will be gone next year, and this is a guy that might be Mahomes' backup for the next 3 to 4 seasons. And you want that to be the case. Maybe not for Nussmeier because eventually he's going to want to go start somewhere. But I will say this. They probably had to put him on the 53-man roster because I don't believe that he would be able to stay on the practice squad. So carrying 3 quarterbacks, like I said, in a year where Patrick Mahomes had a significant knee injury, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. You keep Oladokin on the practice squad, and I'm not sure who that would sort of keep out on the 53-man roster, but I believe it's worth it. You want to have a good quarterback room there, a healthy quarterback room. But to your question, I'm not sure there's anything he can do in preseason to leapfrog Justin Fields. Because what we're going to see is Fields will go out there and throw 4 to 5 passes, then he'll be done. And Nussmeier's going to get the lion's share of the snaps in the preseason, which is what everybody wants to see. They got to keep Fields healthy because they got to make sure they've got that break in case of emergency guy. We don't want to see it, but you got to be prepared for it. What is Patrick Mahomes going to look like? We may not know until Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos to open up the regular season.
Yeah, I think that's the better answer and question is this probably solidified Garrett Nussmeier in the 53. I know there's 2 more games, but I don't think you're getting with the practice squad. So if you like him, there can't be a stash situation because I don't think he's getting through.
No. To me, what you were able to see there is he's not really a 7th round talent.
No.
He probably is more so of a 5th rounder, I would say, maybe 4th if he had a different senior year or final year at LSU. But yeah, we all know about preseason football, what other teams are doing around the league. They're eyeballing guys like Nussmeier. It's, that kid looks really good. Hey, they got Justin Fields and they got Patrick Mahomes. Why would they waste an extra roster spot on a guy that's never going to get in the game? And that's why the Chiefs have to say, look, we don't want to stash him on the practice squad because he could be gone. That's why I believe with a different position, of course, but it was who was the alligator kid? I'm already blanking on his name. Carson Steele. It was that same thing of they didn't want to put him on the practice squad.
It was a crocodile, by the way.
Crocodile,
Get your reptiles correct.
It was a croc.
Crocky J.
Yeah, they decided to keep him because they didn't feel like they were going to be able to if he was on the practice squad.
The running back room was intriguing how it played out. I didn't expect Brashard to be the early one with DeMarcado coming in late. I would have been okay if DeMarcado didn't play, but with him coming in late, did it make you feel like, oh, maybe he's not as safe as we thought?
Locked in, almost Elijah Mitchell situation.
Yeah, and maybe we're wrong, and maybe DeMarcado gets all the first reps out in preseason game 2, and they just wanted to see what they have in Brashard Smith, because maybe Brashard Smith's on the bubble, and hey, let's give him the best chance possible to showcase what he has to see if we can ride with him or not. Emmett Johnson's, I think, clearly making the team because you spent a draft pick on him, and I think he looked really good. Honestly, I thought he looked really good after some of the concerns coming out of training camp. But did you have a second thought, a reaction to the running back room, the breakdown? Because DeMarcado coming in late made me feel an entirely different way.
Yeah, definitely getting the late snaps makes you wonder what the game plan was there. Because Rashard Smith was somebody that I viewed as the odd man out, where early on in the season, at least in my opinion, it's going to be very obvious that Kenneth Walker is this team's number 1 running back. That goes without saying. And it's going to be Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson should be this team's number 2 running back. Now it comes down to how often is that third back getting on the field, and what do they do well? DeMarcado can be that screen back, right? He can be somebody that maybe could spell Kenneth Walker from time to time. If Emmett Johnson's not getting rolling, you might be able to turn to him. But Rashard Smith can do a lot of the same things that DeMarcado can do. He's not as large as DeMarcado, but it's not like it's this wide gap in size for a third running back there. But maybe it is just trying to rotate with different guys here. Maybe they wanted to see Rashard Smith with more regulars on the offensive line. And they said, well, we know what DeMarcado is going to be. We signed him to be this team's number 2 back to begin the year. And then as we progress throughout the season, we might see some of these younger guys leapfrog him. But that would be my only thought if they weren't trying to maybe get too cute or creative with the running back room. Maybe it was, let's give Rashard Smith and Emmett Johnson an opportunity to take some snaps with guys that aren't the true number 1s on the offensive line, but they're those swing guys. They're the number 2s on the depth chart. And DeMarcado comes in when you have a bunch of guys out there that we don't really know the names of. And that might solidify his spot, or it could go the other way. And it's, look, Brashard Smith and Emmett Johnson look a lot better than DeMarcado, and he might just be a roster casualty at this point where they'd rather carry the other 2 than have DeMarcado on there instead of Rashard Smith.
Yeah, because if you're keeping 3 quarterbacks now, where are you taking that spot
That's
from?
what we're talking
Is it
about,
from
right?
the running back room, and maybe you can try and see if you can get him in the practice squad like you did. Was it Elijah Mitchell you got through last year? Could Rashard Smith make it to the practice squad, or you'd have to throw on like a Jay Knott down there and just hope in case of an emergency that's a guy you can call up. So I just thought the running back room breakdown was intriguing. I want to see week 2 how it breaks down. Because, again, if it was just a, hey, we know what we have in DeMarcado, why is he playing late? Or was it a case of, hey, Emmett Johnson, we're done with him, and you could have thrown Jay Knott in there, too, if you wanted to really just eat up some carries. I do think there's a part of it, though, was just Rashard Smith. Let's see him run with 1/2s to see what he can do. Because putting him with the 4s,
he's not going to get a fair shot at this.
Going to help us, wide receivers. I have been a guy who's pushed back against a lot of wide receivers in the past. For those that know me or have listened to me in the past, I was not a Justin Ross guy. I pushed back for 2.5 years on that. I was not a Josh Gordon guy when he came in. I was like, guys, what are we doing here? Let's calm down. Let's pump the brakes. I was not necessarily the most Xavier Worthy guy when he was drafted. I think sometimes we get too excited about certain attributes instead of the actual full package. I'm buying in on Cyrus Allen. I bring all those up because I'm not saying negative. I'm very cautious when it comes to some wide receivers and the hype that sometimes gets thrown around with fans and media even to an extent. I'm in on Cyrus Allen. I don't know if this game, the 2 receptions changed your mind, but watching Cyrus, how open he got many, many times, the contested catch that he brought down, it's dumb, but I see Allen. I see 13. I go Keenan Allen, but make him younger and put him in a Chiefs jersey, a little smaller too. But I'm buying so much stock in Cyrus right now. I don't think it's just hype. I think it's legitimate.
And you can tell there's an emphasis to get him the ball when he's out there. Now, preseason is different than the regular season. He's going to be going up against true number 1s in week 1, week 2, and so on. This go-around, he's going to see some guys that might not be on a roster, but you still want to make an impact there. I mean, you want to see that all this training camp hype isn't just training camp hype. He's going up against guys that he hasn't seen before. He's going up against a different opponent. He's able to see a different look out there. I thought he was very impressive. I mean, the screenplay that happened, he had some serious bursts there the contested catch where he climbed the ladder to go and haul it in and then come down with it. That's a catch we haven't seen from a Chiefs wide receiver in a long, long time. He's incredibly athletic. He's incredibly explosive. He was maybe the most impressive pass catcher in Saturday's game. I also was very impressed with Andrew Armstrong. That is a physical dude. I saw a little bit of him when he was at Arkansas. He threw some great blocks. I know one went viral of him just decleating somebody.
Dude,
The viral one was fun, yeah.
I felt bad for the corner for the Rams. Like, I honestly felt, because you know what that film room is going to look like, especially if you're a guy who's not making the roster.
Yeah, they're going to dog him a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah, you think
if
a
he
little
was
bit.
a fringe guy, then that probably is the one that, yeah.
Who was the Chiefs running back who got destroyed during, was it Rashard Smith?
During practice a couple weeks ago?
No, this was like 2 years ago. It was a year or two ago.
Well, it couldn't have been.
It was two. It couldn't have been Rashard.
Yeah.
But it was either a year or two ago. There was that running back that got rocked in pass pro. I think it was two, and I don't think he made the roster. And that was
sounds in camp, or was it a preseason game?
It was in camp. I remember this because it went viral. It was bad.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago it was Worthy going viral for getting lit up by Tranquil, I believe it was. But yeah, that's one where, look, you want to make the team, you want to be one of these wide receivers or be a special teams guy. That's the type of film that Dave Tobe, Andy Reid, and Eric Bieniemy are going to look at, where he was somebody that was making some flashes in camp, and he's not going to be a guy ever this year to go for 8 and 85 and a touchdown. It's just not realistic. But there might be some packages where he's a bigger-bodied guy. He might be able to block out on the edge. How often have we talked about on this show looking for that Juju Smith-Schuster type?
Yeah.
Somebody that is not going to light up the box score anymore, but he's going to have those big-time blocks that opens up some space for Kenneth Walker, opens up some space for Emmett Johnson, opens up space for Allen or Worthy on an end around because he's able to hold his block and not get flagged for it. So I was really impressed with what I saw in his limited sample size there, and if we don't see him a lot on Saturday, it might be the writing on the wall that they believe that he's made the roster at this point.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from Andrew. Just, again, even the little things, the nuances that you need to see from again, wide receiver 5/6, however you want to break the number down. Jalen Royals, I thought, could be eventually the Juju role. Haven't seen enough. I do think it's intriguing how he had a bad start to training camp, been better recently, and all of a sudden we just forget. It's like Kyle Isbell in baseball, how he had a great start, and now people still think of that, not the fact that he's OPS at like 620. A little bit like Jalen Royals, but the opposite. Started off bad, so that's the initial thought of him, even though he has improved. Bad for Jason Brownlee. He had that deep ball, that drop.
That was an excellent pass,
Excellent.
too.
I thought it was tipped. I kept watching it back. I go, that's not tipped. That's just right there. Phenomenal throw. If you're that fringe wide receiver, you have to make that play. You didn't. Fair not. One play when you're going up against a guy like Andrew Armstrong for that potential final wide receiver spot. Andrew's for sure having the leg up in the competition right now. Good, bad, indifferent for Nico Remigio with what happened, because I don't know how you're not keeping 7 wide receivers. You're just not. You can't if you're keeping 3 quarterbacks. It'd be way too difficult, and so it kind of comes down to Rashard or Nico as far as the return man, right?
Yeah, and that's where I could see them leaning more toward Nico, because he's been their starting punt returner and kick returner now for a couple of seasons, where Rashard, he's got the ability to do it, but if it's just weighing the options right now, do you want to see if Rashard can do it, or you just feel comfortable with Nico being that punt returner? Because then you don't have to worry about putting Cyrus Allen or Worthy out there where they could get hurt on special teams. It's why, unless it was a playoff game, I never really wanted to see Tyreek Hill back there to return punts, because he goes and gets lit up. Well, now your number 1 wide receiver is down for the count. A little bit different this year because Allen and Worthy, they're not your number 1 wide receiver. It's Rashee Rice. Yeah. So you could say, well, we'd rather actually go with somebody else, not named Remigio or Brashard Smith. We'll give that role to Cyrus Allen because we believe he can shine there, or we give that role to Worthy because he has been able to excel in that role before. But if it was just between those two, my guess is Tobe is going to go with Nico Remigio just because of all the experience he has back there.
Yeah, you trust him. He's your floor guy. He's safe. I guess for me, the hard part comes down to who gets more snaps in an actual game, who provides more of a role. Yeah, Nico might be slightly better than Brashard Smith, maybe, as a returner, but does Brashard provide you more on the actual field than Nico does? The answer is probably yes. Because I don't think Nico would see the field hardly at all as a wide receiver, which, again, wide receiver 5 and 6, you probably won't very much to begin with. But then it brings in, again, the Andrew Armstrong conversation of that is a flavor you don't have. He's 6'4", big-bodied guy. You don't have that. I mean, he had a great catch, that catch turn, got upfield. I mean, that was impressive.
Good sideline awareness and everything. I mean,
SEC, right, a leading wide receiver last year. I mean, I get it. I don't want to fall into what we did 3 years ago when you have 8 guys. How can you cut Amir Smith-Marset? What are you doing? You can't cut that guy.
Look what he's doing in Carolina now.
As a returner. They had 4 returners on that team. Kadarius Toney, Amir Smith-Marset, Sky Moore, and I think that was the first year of Nico. So you basically had 4 returners. And we all tried to convince ourselves that they were wide receivers.
Yeah, I would wonder, too, though, with Brashard Smith, how often would he get on the field as well? Because you're talking about Kenneth Walker and then DeMercado or Emmett Johnson. Are they getting on the field more than 2 to 3% of the time? So maybe they're weighing that option of, yes, Nico Remigio would have an uphill battle to actually get onto the field and run a route and catch a pass. But with Brashard Smith, I mean, how often is Kenneth Walker going to be out there, do we think?
Well,
90% of the time?
No.
You think less?
No, I think less. I think that they should do, I don't know if they will do, what they should do is what Seattle did to an extent. They do this
keep them fresh?
Well, they do it in Detroit. They do it, honestly, they do it in Atlanta with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
There's not many just, no, you're our guy and that's it. Derrick Henry has a tandem.
You got to have
running
a
mate.
number 2. Yeah, you got to have a number 2.
And so we did some numbers. I broke it down. And it was about 15 touches a game is about the sweet spot for Kenneth Walker. The year he got injured was the year he actually tried making him more of the bell cow, and then he got injured.
So 15 touches, and that's include. Do you mean
Not
carries
playoffs.
here?
No, touches. That includes receptions.
Only 15 times.
I think it was about 15 times a game was his sweet spot. The 3 years he did it, he played like 16-plus games. The year he didn't, he got injured. And again, maybe it's the outlier. It doesn't matter, but I think Seattle realized that, and that's why they had Charbonnet. It's not who's the better player. The better player is Kenneth Walker, but it's can he stay healthy. Same thing with Detroit. Who's the better player? David Montgomery, who was good, or Jahmyr Gibbs? Well, it's Jahmyr Gibbs, but they want to keep him healthy. Who's the better runner? Bijan Robinson or Tyler Algier? Well, they want to keep him healthy. This Chiefs team has obviously playoff aspirations. They know what Kenneth Walker can do in the playoffs. Playoffs come around, training wheels come off. You're now the guy. But I do think full season, you're going to see a large chunk of RB2, whether it's DeMercado, Smith, or Emmett Johnson. Keep Kenneth Walker fresh. People might not want to hear that, but I think that's the reality and what they should do.
It will be interesting just because Kenneth Walker is making a lot of money and he's 25.
Sure.
So
and
Kenneth Walker was
and Jameer's not.
It's a situation where if he's out there on Monday night, and not this coming Monday night, of course, week 1 against Denver, and he has like 11 carries, I'd be pretty shocked. But now he'd have to have four receptions, right? But if he was sub 15, I would say I expect him, not whether it's right or wrong, I would expect them because of the money put into him that he will get anywhere from 18 to 20 carries again.
Let me do
I think your theory is right because the important thing is he stays healthy.
Correct.
Right? And you traded up to get Emmett Johnson. You spent money on Amari DeMercado. You got to utilize him a little bit here. But I would be really shocked if on opening night or early on in the season, he's not treated as a bell cow because of the money put into him.
Let's take a break. On the other side, I want to do a little bit of that math. I'll do some math in the break, which everyone knows I'm a math guy. Clearly. Love math.
Always do math over the air.
This show is not the best math show. That's why we'll do it in the break. We'll come back. We'll give you some math, some Kenneth Walker updates on the other side. The Zone. Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, so I did math in the break. Math show. We went to break talking along the lines of where is the sweet spot for Kenneth Walker? How many touches should he have? Where has he been traditionally? How many do we expect him to have in a game-by-game basis? The side I've been on traditionally has been, I want him having the majority of the touches at running back, but he should not be a bell cow. This shouldn't be a Saquon Barkley situation. This could be more like a Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, where he's 1A, but you have a guy who's taking a lot of the load off of him as well to make sure he's fresh for the playoffs, like they do in Atlanta as well with Bijan Robinson, and they did with Tyler Algier. It was a combination of, we know Bijan's the guy, but we need Tyler Algier to keep him fresh and healthy for the stretch. Atlanta, let's be real, you're in the NFC South, but they were buns, so it didn't really matter. Chiefs a little different. You expect to make the playoffs, and you want him healthy for the playoff run. Year one, as a rookie, he had 228 attempts. He had 27 receptions. He had an average, after 15 games, of 17 touches per game. He was very efficient as a rookie. It was tied for his most yards per carry as a rookie, okay? Keep that in mind, 17. Next year, 23, he played in 15 games, 219 attempts, 29 receptions, little less efficient, but still with 4 yards a carry, was more efficient as a pass catcher this year. 16 and a half touches per game, not carries, touches per game. Now, year 3 of his career was 2024. He only played in 11 games this year, only 11. He had 153 carries and 46 receptions in those 11 games. It was the least efficient of his career, 3.7 yards a carry, 6.5 yards a reception. That was 18 touches a game. That was the most he had. That's the most. So what happened last year? Probably his best year, that or his rookie year, as an NFL player. 17 games, 221 touches or carries, 31 receptions. The most yards per reception in his career, tied for the most yards per carry in his career. That's 14.8 touches a game. Not carries, touches. And that was the most efficient he had been in the NFL. So the point I bring up here is, you can give more carries, but does that affect the efficiency? You can give more carries, but are you wearing him down? Is there a larger chance of injury? You never know. It could be carry 1, he gets injured, or carry 300. But I think for me, that 15 number, 15 to 16 touches a game, is probably in line with what keeps him healthy for the stretch run, because it was last year.
I wouldn't be completely opposed to it. I don't know if the Chiefs have the luxury to not over-involve him because the wide receiver room is not very good. I thought what Seattle had last year was a ridiculous combination of, you had Kenneth Walker in the backfield, they also had JSN. Yeah. So you're going to give JSN his touches, where for the Chiefs wide receiver room, who has to get their touches if you're not going to be handing the ball off to Kenneth Walker or getting him out in space on a screen play? They still got to utilize Emmett Johnson or Amari DiMercato. You got to keep those guys fresh. You don't want Kenneth Walker having 20 carries a game and touching the ball 25 times. It's not realistic. You're not going to get the same type of production late in the season if that's going to be the workload early on. My fear would be that in their mind they're going, well, you got to keep them fresh for the postseason run. But can we sit here right now and say with confidence there will 100% be a postseason run?
No,
it's not the way it used to be. Yeah, so now it's all about how do you get there, right? What is the best path forward? Is it Kenneth Walker 15 times a game, or is it, hey, if we give Kenneth Walker, let's say, 18 touches a game compared to 15 touches a game, does that help us get there where he might not be as efficient in the postseason? Or do you say, look, the goal is still to win a Super Bowl, and we do feel confident that we can get there with Kenneth Walker not maybe being as involved as what his money says? A lot of teams would say he's making a lot of money. You can't afford to only give him the ball 15 times a game. He needs to be a 20 touch a game guy. And that's what it's going to be interesting to follow with Andy Reid. We know that he does like to rotate running backs a little bit, but this is the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career he's had a running back that's making this type of money, is a true number one, and the guys behind him are true running back number threes and guys we've never seen before, right? Emmett Johnson still has to prove he is an NFL running back. We like the upside, but we don't know yet.
Sure.
We know who DeMarcado is. We kind of have a good idea what Brashard Smith might be, but Kenneth Walker is your number one guy, and it should be about how you get the most efficiency out of him. If that's the path forward, then you better be sure that other guys around him are stepping up, so there will be that postseason run.
So I wonder if we'll ever get to a point in football where we got to in baseball, where the pitch count and the certain numbers and the 100-pitch mark or the third time to the order, or, hey, let's try and protect his arm a little bit. Because in baseball, we have, I feel like, a lot more technology and analytics. I get it. That's going to always be the more analytical sport. But in football, will we ever get to a point where we're like, no, it's not like 19 or 18 touch mark. Once you get to 20, that's when we start seeing the injuries pile up. Always different, way more physical sport. Anything can happen on any given play, but I do wonder if we ever get to that point, because we're starting to get a little more analytical in football here and there, and I just wonder if we find that sweet spot of, no, you got to give him 15. If you give him 20, he's going to break down by game 14. We now have the spreadsheet and the numbers to analyze that. I wonder if that's a possibility at some point.
I mean, I'm sure we will get to that point, though, where you look back over the history of running backs and the guys that were paid a lot of money, they were given 25 carries a game. How long was their career? When did the drop-off happen? I remember with Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Right? He was somebody that, was so effective, got the money, and they're saying, I mean, Jerry Jones, Dallas, they said, well, yeah, you're going to give the ball to Zeke. You're not going to try to pay him that money and then go, well, we got to worry about what Zeke might be at 34, 35 years old. It was, no, we are going to get every amount of football out of him right now. And if that means he retires early, well, he's making a lot of money, and I'm sure he won't be that upset looking back of, I still had some incredible seasons, I made a lot of money, I was a household name.
David Johnson, Arian Foster, and you never know, but I again, injuries play a part, all of that, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry's going to be the pushback. But for every Derrick Henry, there's a Nolan Ryan. Right, there's always going to be the outliers.
Yeah.
And then you go back another generation, it's Eddie George and Jamal Lewis used to carry it 35 times a game. And
correct.
It's funny to me how it's like, oh, the early 2000s, the number was like 30, 35, and now it's 25, and now we're talking about 18. It's funny.
It was Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson. What was that year he had? Larry Johnson had one
carry ball.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Was it 400 in a season?
It was ridiculous. Yeah, I mean,
I got to look up because
the evolution of the game is a very funny thing.
But in all sports, because baseball, if you didn't go 6 or 7 innings, you were a bad starting pitcher.
Yeah, how did he only go 6 innings?
Yeah,
416. That's what it was. Yeah, he had 416 carries. And if you want to honestly be honest with Larry Johnson, think about it. He only had 2 years. He went over 1,000 yards.
Had a really good offensive line too.
2 years.
So.
He had 1,750 yards. He had 1,789 yards. And then after that was pretty much injured, suspended, other things. But like those 2 years, he had 336 carries, 416, and then the most he had in a season after that was 193. I'm just saying, like, think about, this is all my point, keep Kenneth Walker healthy. I know you paid him a lot of money, but don't be like, we have this new car, let's bleep and run it into the ground. Use the beater every once in a while to make sure you can get from point A to point B so that when you need to go 100, you still have that option.
Is it a game-by-game basis, though?
No, I don't think it's game-by-game. I think you probably, honestly, this is what I would do. I'd probably start off with a heavier workload for Kenneth Walker early in the year. And as the season goes on, especially the midway point, I'd really start easy. And I know it gets harder. I get that. I get the schedule it's brutal on paper for the Chiefs this year. But I would start really mixing in halfway through the season, week 6 to 10, Emmett Johnson, DeMarcado, Brashard Smith, whoever you want to go with. I'm not trying to nerd football like baseball has become to an extent. I'm not trying to overanalyze or overthink it, but I think there are some takeaways we've seen from the past that can help us predict the future. And I do think keeping Kenneth Walker healthy. A healthy Kenneth Walker is better than an injured Kenneth Walker. 15 touches of Kenneth Walker is better than 0 touches of Kenneth Walker.
By using this game-by-game basis, though, like what if let's go to week 2 here, because I'd imagine against Denver, you're really trying to pull out all the stops to win that game. It's a division game. It's a rivalry game. Let's say Sunday Night Football against Indianapolis. It is third quarter, 3 minutes to go, and Kenneth Walker's at 14 carries for 110 yards.
Hell yeah, sign me up.
For sure. But the Chiefs are up by 10.
Well,
do you say 14 for 105 is good, we're up by 10, let's turn to, or do you say, look,
we got to win this game.
He's gashing that defense, and we're going to keep going back to him, because the Colts would be saying, oh, thank goodness they're taking him off the field.
Yeah.
We can't bring this guy down. So that's what I mean by game-by-game basis, where, yeah, if you're at 15 carries for 58 yards, I mean, you're not going anywhere, and you look worn down, the defense is bottling you up.
Sure.
Maybe you turn more to a pass-heavy attack and try to open things up. But if you've got those games, I can already picture it now where Kenneth Walker has a game where he's averaging like 6 yards a carry, and he's just, every time he gets the ball, chunk yardage, goes from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 3, first down,
sure,
2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. He's just bowling over people, and then you take that mentality of, well, we do got to keep him fresh. We don't want to have him end the night with 22 carries. We want him to end the night with 15 carries, and maybe Emmett Johnson gets 8 carries, and Amari DiMercado gets 5 carries, and you spread it around like that. My fear would be, what if you get into the season and neither of those guys are effective?
Yeah.
Like if it's Brashard Smith last year where straight into the line, he's got 7 carries for 18 yards. I mean, then you do have to give Kenneth Walker 18 carries a game, right? If you got everybody else that's able to pick up some yards there, then yeah, I mean, you could say, hey, he's 14 for 105 right now, but let's give him a breather here. Emmett Johnson, you got this drive. And let's see if you can go out there and average 4 to 5 yards a carry. That's what it's going to depend on, I believe, more so than the Chiefs having that luxury of, got to keep him fresh. Let's take him out the field, and now we're just going to throw the football.
I'm basically doing this as a caution to fans. If you see him not get the 22-plus touches a game, if it's not Larry Johnson with 416 carries in a season, but I just want to caution fans. I have a feeling it'll be more like Seattle with what they did with him and Charbonnet than just, let's say, a Saquon Barkley that we traditionally see in Philly. Let's take a break. Let's come back. Do want to talk some defense with you. I want to talk some offensive line with you. We'll hear from the Chiefs around 11 o'clock, at least in the 11 o'clock hour. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. He can't defend himself. Cags and Wright. Mick, get ready, 1 o'clock. We're going to be correct at 1 o'clock. Chiefs around 11:15. We'll hear from Andy Reid, Melvin Smith Jr., Emmanuel Agba, and I think Jared Wiley. Those are the 4 guys we will hear from today out there. Joel Pinfield joins at noon. We'll talk some Royals with Joel, including Noah Cameron's excellent game yet again, calling his own pitches. Concern level, Trey Smith, where are we at?
I'm at a 6.
6 out of 10? I assume we could have made a number. It could have been 6 out of 8, 6 out of 12.
6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 seems pretty fair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in no pads today, right? He hasn't been in pads since last. It's been 2 weeks, or
It's
like
been a
week
while.
and a half. Week and a half. If we get to, because they break camp
Thursday.
We get to the following Thursday, and he's not doing anything. I'm really becoming concerned because
6
then,
turns into an 8.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I might even go to a 9 at that point. Going into the final preseason game, maybe even. I mean, after that final preseason game, the first game would be how many days away at that point? Because
No, September 14th, right?
September 14th, the final preseason game is September, or is it end of August? I think it's the end of August.
Let me pull it up.
You have
real
like
quick.
2 full weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe I wouldn't go up to a 9. Maybe a 7.5 or an 8.
Final preseason game is, the 28th.
28th. Trey's just been such a durable guy his entire career.
Well,
and
he
then
was
now,
until last year.
And then last year, it just seems like they're slow playing everybody. I mean, Mansour Delane was in the no-contact yellow jersey for weeks. Didn't participate in rookie minicamp. Now he's in the white jersey. And there really wasn't much of an update, right? It was
No.
every single day. He's got the shoulder thing. He's getting there. He's doing some stuff, but he's still not at 100%.
He's doing some stuff. It's a great way of what they said.
Yeah, and then he did. Then he finally was out there, and he's got the white jersey on. With Trey, I could see something like that happening, where it's no pads, pads, and he's on the field.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's never a good sign. Not blaming him. I'm not saying this was on purpose. It's not the Seth Lugo line of demarcation of where all of a sudden he became buns after signing the contract. But he signs a contract, and now he's starting to get injured. And when I see the hip injury, that feels like Mitchell Schwartz in the back. I know it's not a back, but you're seeing a specialist. Is this something that lingers for a long time? You're no longer the 6th-round rookie contract guy where, oh, wow, Pro Bowl or 6th-round rookie? Hell yeah. Now, you're one of the highest-paid guards in football now. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you got to be right on this. That's a lot of money for a right guard. A lot of money for a right guard.
And they paid him and traded Joe Tooney.
Correct.
Right?
Joe
So-
Tooney's been healthy. And I pushed back at the time. I said, you're basically viewing these on 3-year deals is how I'd view it because of how the contracts just traditionally work. I said, well, who's going to be better over the next 3 years? Joe Tooney or Trey Smith? I said I would take Joe Tooney. So far, I'm 1-0. He won year 1. Joe Tooney did. We'll see year 2.
Because Tooney's how old now?
Ooh, Joe Tooney is...
I would say he's probably 35.
33.
He's only 33?
33. He'll turn 34 in November.
Wow. Okay. So the end of the year, basically, or near the end of the year. And Trey's only...
He's probably 26, 27.
He was 2020 draft pick, and he would have been 21 or 22.
27.
Okay, yeah. So
Again, I don't argue that, but I did argue. I go, people who go, well, Trey Smith might be here for 8 years. I go, yeah, maybe, but that's another contract after that, and football's not the same as baseball. And so I'm basing him on 3-year deals. I would have kept Joe Tooney. Doesn't matter now, sunk cost, but you got to have Trey Smith healthy. You got to get him right. I don't care about the preseason, but if this is a hip injury that lingers into this regular season, that's now 2 years since the contract extension that you're looking.
you can't afford him.
You can't
to be
afford it.
because you're not sure who right tackle is going to be.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. Let's talk about the offensive line, including Khalil Benson and Jalen Moore. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. I had to wait for that. You think I'm going to cut in before that? Deebs? No chance. Fat chance. We'll do a quick little segment here because we will hear from the Chiefs on the other side. So I want to make sure we get back for Andy and the like. But we can't stop talking about the Chiefs. We just can't stop. And I can't stop thinking about Khalil Benson, Jack. He's in my mind. He runs through it. I'm surprised he's not tired because he's running through my mind all day.
He is probably in the minds of many Chiefs fans out there and probably a lot of the coaches at this point, because are you really going to start not just a UDFA, rookie camp or rookie minicamp invitee?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, great, good for him. I can't wait to see him in an actual regular season game because I believe at this point that's how we're trending. It's that he's going to start at right tackle. He seemingly has won this job over Jalen Moore, but then again, to go back to our conversation about Trey Smith, what are they going to do if Trey Smith's not available?
And this is what makes it hard. This is what really grinds my gears. I'm not really that upset by it, I'm intrigued by it. What would happen if Trey Smith were healthy? Would it have been Khalil Benson out there with the ones?
I believe so.
I think so. I think so too, but we don't know. And part of me wonders if it is a little Brashard Smith-esque, where it's like, you know what you have in Jalen Moore. You know what you have in Amari DiMarcado. So let's let Brashard Smith run with the 1/2s to see what he looks like in that group. We know what we have in Jalen Moore. So let's let Khalil Benson run with the ones at right tackle because we know what the backup looks like. We know what the floor looks like for Jalen Moore. Part of me has that little reservation in the back of my mind of that's what we've seen, but that just seems like a lot of valuable reps being lost for a guy in Jalen Moore who wasn't a main starter last year. He started some games, but he wasn't the main starter because that was obviously Jawan Taylor. That doesn't seem like something Andy Reid would do. But also, what's to say about the guards? Right? If it's Khalil Benson starting at right guard, and it's not Mike Caliendo
or Norzad,
what's that say about the guards? I mean, I think there's so many ways of looking at this. You can look at it positive or negative, and you're not wrong. We need to see Trey Smith healthy. And I would have even liked seeing potentially Caliendo at right guard so Benson could be the right tackle. Like, you need to, if he is your starting right tackle, he needs all of the starting right tackle reps, to be honest with you. Because he didn't go from guard, and then when Moore went out to right tackle, he also went out of the game. Was it 6 snaps?
Sounds right.
It was 6 snaps for both him and Moore? I don't know your thought, but I thought the entire thought, or the entire execution was intriguing. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I do want to see what happens game 2.
Yeah, we'll probably get a clearer image of what they're trying to do on the offensive line. The good news is when the Chiefs have believed in a player similar to Benson, they've oftentimes gotten it right. I mean, Trey Smith came in his rookie season. You had LDT there, but he beat him out, and I'm sure there was concern of, this is a 6th rounder after all. You know what you have, and Duvernay Tardif, but...
Well, they even brought in Kyle Long.
Yeah, they Kyle Long.
He got injured, but they brought him in for that reason, yeah.
And with Suamataia, it wasn't the right call to put him at left tackle, but then to move him inside to left guard, that has seemingly worked out as well. This doesn't seem reckless to me. Like, it doesn't seem like they're putting Benson out there, then all of a sudden he's going to go and get just walked all over every single snap. If he's running with the ones, and he's out there on opening night, there is clear reason to believe he is their best right tackle, and Jalen Moore becomes their breaking cage in case of emergency. He's their swing tackle. If Josh Simmons isn't available, he'll be at left tackle. If Benson is getting worked in the way that Suamataia did in his rookie season against Cincinnati, you can turn to Jalen Moore. But I would have to wonder if Benson wasn't good enough and Jalen Moore goes out there and he wasn't good either, how are you handling right tackle at that point?
Yeah. All right, let's take a break because we should be hearing from the Chiefs really soon. So let's make sure we are caught up. So let's take a break. Let's come back. We will hear from Andy Reid. Looks like Jared Wiley, Melvin Smith Jr., and Emmanuel Agba. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's not like he, when healthy, was good. He also struggled mightily. So I don't know, Jack, I don't know your opinion on that, but it does feel like he's on the team. If it's not a new injury, it's a pre-existing one, and it's mostly load management, I assume that means that, hey, we trust him, we think we know what to do with him. He's here. We don't need to see anything.
I think I'm on now. Yeah. I believe that might be the route they're taking here, and you can't view him as a top cornerback on this roster. I mean, Tennessee moved on from him. They felt like he was never going to be healthy enough, and the Chiefs, they want to bring back somebody who can be a leader in that secondary room, and then also be somebody that, can give you meaningful snaps. You're not bringing him back just to be some leader, some captain for the defensive backs. You brought him back there to be effective, and maybe this is the best way to go about that. Maybe this is the right move in making sure that come regular season, he's not dealing with anything that's significant. He's not going to be the same player that he once was. We all know that at this point. He is going to be this team's, number 4, number 5 cornerback. One thing we didn't talk about in the opening part of the show was Christian Fulton. I mean, still being out there late into the first preseason game. I don't know what their plan is for him, but I would hope that he is a top 3 corner on this roster. It goes Delane, it goes Williams, and it goes Fulton. After that, you're going to be rotating some guys, and Snead is one of those. If he can ever be healthy, it's really unfortunate just for the depth part of the secondary, but that's more so what it's about here. It's the depth aspect, not that you are losing out on a top 3 cornerback on that roster.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's not great when Delane's been
shoulder thing,
which, again, great seeing him back today.
Yeah.
Normal jersey, not yellow. He's in pads. But you've had him banged up, Fulton banged up, L'Jarius Sneed banged up. Not great, Bob. Not ideal. I do think one positive in the secondary, I mean, I'm not saying the only one, but I thought Jaden Hicks looked great.
He did.
I thought Jaden Hicks looked real good.
And it's still a mystery why he didn't play last year.
Well, I think it's not a mystery once we saw the end of the year and he was struggling.
But going from where he was his rookie season to year 2, I'm surprised that's where he started out.
No, I agree. After his rookie year, we thought, nice. But I think we've seen this with a lot of Chiefs corners. Juan Thornhill, best 2 years, rookie last year. Brian Cook, best 2 years, rookie last year. Shamari Connor was great as a rookie. Let's see if this year's his best year after moving back from the slot. I mean, this has been a trend for Chiefs safeties. So I don't know.
Yeah, and you wonder where his snap's gonna come, because you have Alohi Gilman, who's gonna start.
Yeah.
You've got
Shamari Connor,
who's gonna start.
He'll be safety 3, which means you're probably gonna play, if you're that, 50% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we'll see a lot of that,
Assuming you can, pick up some of the coverages, right? I mean, if he has some mental lapses, as he clearly did last year,
a lot last year,
somebody else is going to leapfrog him.
And that's what's intriguing and exciting and frustrating about it all in one. Because I think we all see the talent. I imagine for him it is, and I imagine for Spags even more so, of we see the talent. We know it's in there, but you have to pick it up. You have to know where to be and what to do, especially in a year where there's so much change in the secondary. Can you trust that? That's what's going to come down to. You have to be able to trust, because even with Alohi Gilman, we've heard him talk about how there's, a few changes and some nuances, some blown coverages. It's going to happen. But if you are a veteran, which Jaden Hicks would be now into year 3, you got to know that. Shamari Connor knows it.
Yeah, you can't. I'd imagine if you were to talk to Steve Spagnuolo, he would say, I can live with some physical mistakes from time to time. That's going to happen. It's the NFL. Sure. You're going to go up against guys that are bigger than you, stronger than you, maybe excellent route runners, or just someone that can run you over. What you can't live with, though, as a safety, is those mental lapses, right? When you're playing those top teams in the NFL, are you going to miss an assignment, right? Are you going to fail to see some route deep down the field that cost you 6? Are you going to fall for the quarterback's eyes, right, and try to jump a route, and then you leave somebody wide open? Those are the things that Jaden Hicks, I thought, struggled with late last year, where those top safeties in the league, the guys that can bait the quarterback into a mistake, that can help out the cornerbacks, and there's going to be young quarterback play this year. Noah Williams is a second-year player. Mansour Delane's a true rookie. they're going to be your number one and your number two. You cannot have a safety that is unaware of what's going on. You have to have someone that knows exactly where everybody is at all times, right? You can't be having those mental lapses late in the game.
Yeah, and so we need to see Jaden Hicks just for 2 more preseason games. Throw him out there a ton and see if he knows where to be every single time. Because we've seen him look good for a game or 2 in a Chiefs uniform. We've seen him go, wow, how can he not see the field? And then you go, oh my gosh, how can he see the field? His floor and ceiling might be the most vast of anyone in this Chiefs secondary.
And can you gamble on that, right? You talk about the high floor, or excuse me, the high ceiling and the low floor. You know, that can cost you a game at times. Or they can win you a game, right? If you've got somebody that can go and make a play, that can seal you the game late. It also can be the moment where, somebody over the top, you're not there, you're the opposite side of the field, and then a Noah Williams or Mansour Delaney gets beat one-on-one. And that's where I have to wonder with Spags and Dave Merritt, how can you trust someone that has that much volatility? Same thing for Kennedy, too. Like, what is his role going to be? Is he somebody that can show flashes and he's unbelievable, and at times go, this guy can't even cut it on the practice squad? And that's going to be a question mark for the depth of the safeties here, where I feel pretty good about having Gilman and Connor back there. After that, you got to be able to count on some guys that are not going to let you down in a big-time game.
Talking about the defensive rookies, I think Peter Woods, everyone was like disappointed with, and I was surprised that was the takeaway. I know he looked great in training camp, but it wasn't like it was Chris Jones out there. It wasn't like he had a whole bunch of guys that you're like, okay. It wasn't the normal configuration of the D-line.
No.
It felt like the Rams like, just take Peter Woods away.
And
which, by the way, should be a positive of them being like, we're just going to double Peter Woods so he doesn't kill us. And everyone's like, well, he's not getting to the quarterback. I'm like, they're focusing in on Peter Woods. That's almost a positive in my mind. Again, do I want to see him still split the double team and do that? Sure. But Chris Jones played 1 snap, which, by the way, hilarious.
Yeah.
After telling Spags,
I don't want to play.
I don't want to play in the preseason. Spags goes, all right, Chris, 1 snap. First play.
We also need to be okay with the fact that Peter Woods is probably not going to start on the first night. He's going to play. They got Kyrus Tonga for a reason.
Correct.
Tonga's going to be on the interior with Chris Jones, and then it's going to be Karlaftis. And then we'll see, opposite of Karlaftis, it might be Gelati, it might be Mason Thomas, who looked really good, but this is also where we have to pump the brakes a little bit. Peter Woods is an interior lineman. You are not going to be, like, you getting to the quarterback is great. When Chris Jones gets a sack, it's like, man, he is a game wrecker. But a lot of it, too, is about making sure you plug up the gaps there, right? You're stopping the run. You are causing havoc up front where maybe you free up some space for the edge rusher. You free up some space for Chris Jones. Tonga could have a really good year this year because Chris Jones is opposite of him. Turk Warden had an incredible year because Chris Jones was right there alongside him. Anybody that's overreacting to Peter Woods, it's because all we have right now is training camp football. Yeah. So him dominating, you go, well, this guy's going to dominate every time he's out there. You hope that's the case, but he's still a rookie. And he's also going to be somebody that's going to be number 2 on the depth chart to begin the year. He's still going to play a lot, but as I just said, it's going to be Tonga and Jones when the Broncos are in town on opening night, and we'll see Peter Woods in the first quarter, but it's not like it's going to be Jones and Woods for 95% of the snaps. He's going to be out there, and you're going to hope he does something with it, but there was nothing he did on Saturday that I took away and said, this kid's just actually not very good at all. He's a bust. No, even if he was a game wrecker in the way Mason Thomas is, I can't walk away from that saying, yeah, Mason Thomas is going to be a 14-sack guy this year. We don't know because you're playing a bunch of guys that are number 2s, number 3s, and number 4s in the depth chart.
Yeah. Looks like they're huddling now, so we should hear from Andy shortly. Speaking of Mason Thomas, I thought a nice performance from him, right? I thought overall looked like he showed some juice. Nice little QB hit he threw down on there. I want to see more, but I think it was at least a good, productive preseason game 1 for him.
I like seeing he wasn't lining up as a speed rusher, but I like seeing an edge rusher with that type of burst. No disrespect to George Karlaftis and Ashton Gelati. It's just not as appealing, right?
What about Mike Dana? Because he's wearing number 51.
Yeah,
too,
that did. I was like, damn, Dana's moving.
Dana got quick.
Dana had a great offseason.
He shed some weight, and he's blowing by everybody. But, yeah, I think it's just awesome to see. I'm glad because we know with Spags, he doesn't really enjoy those speed rushers. It didn't work out for Josh Uche, but maybe it does for R. Mason Thomas. You go up against those big-bodied tackles, you go right under him. We've seen how Nick Bonito has wrecked the Chiefs' offensive line before, and we talked a little bit, not just because he went to Oklahoma and so did R. Mason Thomas. You got to have somebody that can do that. Pin the ears back on a third down and go right around somebody. I just wish they would line him up a little bit more as a speed rusher.
Yes.
Let's not line him up in the three-point stance because that might be able to take away his ability against some of the top offensive linemen to go right around him or have the spin move and go on the inside.
Well, honestly, and not a knock on this guy because I always said he got a bad rap in KC a little bit. I think he's a really good player. Orlando Brown Jr.
Yeah.
This would be his nightmare, or Mason Thomas.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup for Orlando Brown.
Right, but those are the type of guys, certain matchups you look at and go, oh, this is where R. Mason Thomas can thrive. Again, Karloff is a really good player, but I think that is where Orlando Brown Jr. thrives.
Yeah.
Against guys like that.
Long arms.
Yeah, R. Mason Thomas, though, those are the tackles that you go up against. You go, oh, wow, this is where I could see him really thriving. I thought he had a nice game. I do think an overarching thought, which is not great. One game, preseason, not a lot of starters out there for either side. Still no sacks.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was one thing that really stuck with me. But now, if you go through the entire preseason and nobody gets home, nobody gets to the quarterback, you're thinking, well, you didn't do enough to the offensive line, and now these guys can't even do it against backups, practice squad guys. It can be alarming, but I did think the pressures on Saturday, that's what maybe was my main takeaway.
Sure.
But again, we hammered George Karlaftis last year.
Pressures
and couldn't get home. It's like, okay, $1 million move, 10-cent finish.
Well, and in fairness, I love Karlaftis. I still think he's an underrated piece in general. I think people see the contract and think that's a lot of money for a guy who gets 8 to 10 sacks. My thing is that is the going rate for 8 to 10 sacks. If you look around the NFL, that's just the inline market. Same thing how wide receivers that market exploded. That's what it is. That edge. He is the going rate for that. But when you're on that contract, as we mentioned with Trey Smith, you have to produce and you have to bring the quarterback down. If you're getting pressures as a rookie versus sacks, it's a little different. You're not held to the same standard.
And he's just a bit slower, right? So some of these guys that have quick releases, you're pressuring, you just can't get home because you're not quick enough. And he's always been known as the motor guy.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of his sacks were attributed to having that motor and being able to chase guys down. It's why with a guy like R. Mason Thomas, you got a little bit more speed, a little bit more giddy up. You do get by somebody, that quarterback's either throwing it away or they are getting brought down for the sack because you can't get the ball out that quickly. With Karlaftis, he might take a little bit to make that move or to overpower someone.
Sure.
But at that point, somebody's open. And then you're just credited with the pressure. And I'll take pressures for sure, but I can't see 25 pressures and 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Right? At some point, it needs to be a double-digit sack season if you have that many pressures.
Yeah. Penalties, I know, will probably be a talking point and brought up when Andy speaks, but
offensive line.
Dude.
Mercy.
And that's no Juwan Taylor.
No.
At some point, do we have a little Andy Heck convo?
If it happens with the guys that are actually going to be out there, for sure.
Sure.
This one, to me, seemed like a bunch of guys. I mean, there were some up front that I was trying to sift through quickly and be like, where'd they come from again? I have no idea. I mean, some Esapole we've seen out there before, but that drive where Emmett Johnson went on to score, then he got called back.
Yeah.
There were so much, and maybe you do look at it and say, well, it got called, or it was a 15-yard gain because there was a penalty. There was a hold. But man, how many times there was a well-executed screenplay. Emmett Johnson waited for some of the blocks, got through, and then there's the yellow line around the field. Penalty, 10 yards back. Or it was a hold. Or it was lining up incorrectly. Those are the things I can live with a hold from time to time, even though it's 10 yards. What I couldn't live with Juwan Taylor was just lining up incorrectly. You can't do
sure.
that.
I get
right?
that.
A legal procedure. You cannot have those happening at this level. Holds are going to happen. And there's the old tale of there's holding on every play, but just some guys get caught. I don't know if I would go that far. But when you've got 4 to 5 penalties on one drive,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, so if you were going to have the physical mistake, you just physically are not strong enough to hold that guy to get out into space. And that's why some of these guys aren't going to make the roster. And unfortunately for them, if you look at the film and they've got 3 penalties on one drive, there's your answer.
Yeah.
That's not fluky. That's just not being a very good lineman.
How about Bieniemy? You think he's probably thrilled? How do you think that practice was?
Ooh. Take away some positives. I'm sure he was thrilled with the way he's been getting on the running backs. I'm sure he's just hammering Emmett Johnson, even though he was one of the stars. It's like, well, you weren't great in pass pro today. You didn't wait long enough for this block. You would have waited long enough, you would have had a 20-yard gain compared to a 7-yard gain. So, yeah, he probably got on a lot of guys in practice today, and I'm sure we'll hear about that pretty soon. But when you get penalized like that, it's across the board, the coaches. They're going to be furious about that. And they don't care if you're some fifth stringer that tried out for the team. They're going to get on you in the same way they would with Josh Simmons, because it is seen as unacceptable of you just took away a play that we concocted and we got what we wanted to have, and then you made the mistake.
On one of the holds, I didn't see. I was at Maloney's, but I didn't see it.
They weren't very good about going back and showing the replay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, was it the Emmett Johnson touchdown? I think and I was like, I didn't see a whole lot there. Again, I'm at a bar, drinking some beverages, but
maybe that's why
I went and watched it back at my house. I still didn't see it. It wasn't like they went back and showed 9 viewpoints of it.
No.
Looks like Andy Reid should be coming here any second now. We'll see. Looks like they're breaking the huddle, so let us know. Is that Andy here? Okay. He should be walking. He's probably just sauntering. Here is Andy Reid.
Pole had some dehydration, Singleton tweaked his hamstring a little bit, and then Cochran's knee, but finished practice there. So, and the rest of the people you already know, they're from last week. So, Delane did practice today, did everything, was in all the drills, and looked good. So it's good work for him as he goes through that. As far as the game goes, kind of like what I mentioned after the game, there were some good things. It was great to get the young players in and get them moving around a little bit and see how they do under that pressure of playing in a game. And there's some things we got to clean up. Obviously, the 5 holding calls and the 5 illegal procedure penalties, you can't have those. I mean, it's just that discipline. You got to be more disciplined than that, and so we go back and we keep stressing that. And anyways, both sides of the ball, we plenty of stuff to learn from. But there were some really good things that we took out of it from some of the young guys there, and they got plenty of play time, which was good. Time's yours.
Now you've had a chance to work a little bit longer with DeMarco and Chad O'Shea. What are your thoughts about them as coaches and what they brought to the team?
I like the detail they're bringing to the group there. They're staying on the guys and to detail their work. They've got some young guys that they're dealing with and new guys at the position. So from another team, so free agents. So they've got there's a lot of teaching going on, and they're doing a good job doing the teaching.
And you got that process of your right tackle trying to figure out the starter.
Yeah, listen, Moore has been doing a great job in there. So for us, and but with that, then Benson doesn't get any reps at it, and we want him to go against the better players and have a chance to continue to grow there. So we just flopped him over and let Moore get some reps at guard, and then Benson get some reps at the tackle spot. But Benson held his own at the guard spot in the game, and but listen, they need to be able to play both as we go through this thing, and it's a good experience for it, but it's not one over the other. Like I said, Moore's been he put together a lot of good days here, and played good the other night. So, or yes, whenever we played here, Saturday. All the days are running together.
Andy, you feel pretty good about where Trey Smith is at?
Yeah, Trey's doing good. We'll see. I mean, he's getting close. So we'll see where it goes here. I don't know if you'll see him this week, but he's getting close.
What's the process of trying to catch Delane up? And,
Yeah, so he's, the doctors have done their studies. He had one done the other day, and looks like he's healing up pretty good, enough to where he can get out here and do some things. And then we'll just monitor and see how he does with the extended play. He hasn't taken that many reps as what he did today, so we'll just see how he does.
Coach, where do you want to see Jeck Johnson improve as you go here?
Yeah, he did a nice job. He ran hard. Some of his footwork, he's getting him going in the right direction early. I'm not saying he went the wrong way. Just we try to tie the footwork up with the back with the O-line, and you've got to be able to set those guys up. And there's got to be a certain amount of patience, and your angle becomes important on that you take to the line of scrimmage. So he can work on that. But as far as the effort, ability to make people miss, I mean, you got a pretty good idea of his vision. All those things were positives.
Now that you've got a couple weeks to work with Kenneth Walker, what's it kind of been like to see him up close and what he can add to this team?
Yeah, he comes to work every day. Works hard. So I like that. He catches the ball well, blocks well, runs well. So, yeah, I like what we see, for sure.
The last two, Pete and then Harold. Good, Pete.
Coach, is there something you can do in practice to help with the penalty thing you talked about?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to put yourself in the right position so you're not doing those things. We're kind of on the offensive line. We're overshooting things a little bit. And we got to make sure we cover up bodies on that in the run game and pass game. You got to let go. There's a time and a place where you got to let go. It's not an effort thing. It's putting yourself in the right position, disciplining it, and then you do the same thing in practice. You work on that. And our responsibility to hold the guys accountable during practice.
Last one, Harold.
Back here, Andy, with the tight end depth, about here for Jared, but just what you see out of these guys. We obviously know what Travis can do, but you see Jake, Jared, and all those guys. How have you seen them?
Yeah, they're all getting better, which leads to great competition there. So, like what we see. Jake and Trey doing a nice job. Jared's doing a good job. So it's happy with that spot. We just got to keep growing, and they've got a few things they correct from this game. Which will be good for him, but the energy's right, the willingness to block is right. We just got to keep growing there.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Very good.
Do we miss a few things to clean up? How much did you miss hearing Andy say that?
So much. So much.
So many things to clean up.
Empty without hearing it.
Yeah, it's part of what we do. Estepole left with dehydration. If you saw him leaving on the cart, it was dehydration. We will hear from Jared Wiley in just a moment here, but looked like Jalen Moore was at guard at Sunlight today with Khalil Benson at right tackle. Looked like they're flip-flopping. Again, he did say, Andy, he liked a lot of what he saw from Jalen Moore in that first preseason game. A lot to take away from 6 snaps, clearly. Obviously, 6 snaps, you can tell right then and there everything you need to know. All there is. Jared Wiley coming our way next. He also had a real nice catch in this one, and here is Jared Wiley.
I'll go back and watch camp from last year, and I'm like, God, that looked terrible, dude. Like, it was awful. So, definitely feeling like myself again, though.
What are the differences from what you can tell?
Just a lot of stiffness. I had a lot of stiffness last year. Still was dealing with some swelling and stuff like that. I would say the main thing, though, is just, like, mentally trusting yourself, being able to do OTAs this offseason was a huge help, just kind of working through a bunch of that stuff. And then, by the time the season gets here, you've repped these things so many times that you don't even think about it anymore. Whereas, last year, I felt like I was thinking about it a lot, like before I was going in and out of breaks, before I was doing stuff.
What was it that got you over that hump to where you felt comfortable?
Man, honestly, just a lot of stuff in the off season that I did this year. I was able to actually work out instead of rehab this off season, so that was big. Getting with some of my guys, route running, weightlifting, stuff like that. I was even doing Pilates, like literally whatever I could do to just try to kind of work through some of those growing pains again.
Did the mental part kick in with the physical, or did you have to overcome something with the tentativeness?
For me, I would say that there was a lot of just overcoming in general. I think what helped me just kind of continually and slowly trust myself was just the amount of reps that I got in practice last season. But I mean, even then, like you don't really feel great until you're not really feeling anything at all. Like sometimes whenever I'd cut last year or, just some small stuff to where I was just like, I don't really know if I liked how that felt. But, just this year, just being able just to kind of say, screw it. We're going to dive into this route, or, we're going to lift heavy weight this off season to make sure that I'm strong.
The catch instead of the game, you seem to know it was a catch immediately. Just what did it do for your confidence based on all the work leading up to it?
Yeah, I mean that's one of those for me that like those types of catches are kind of what I've prided myself on since I was in college. Making those hard grabs, I'm a big guy, quarterback trusting me to put it up there where nobody else can reach it. Just stuff like that. Just being able to be kind of a safety net or a safety blanket for my quarterback whenever he's in trouble or however that needs to look.
Okay, we'll go Sam, and then we'll go two in the back.
Sure, I know no two injuries or recoveries are exact same, but having gone what you went through, I just wonder if it gives you a certain appreciation for seeing Patrick out here and just what he's been doing.
Oh, 100%. That dude is a warrior. I mean, I'm not going to say I know exactly what he feels because everybody's different, but I know how hard it is to bounce back like that from something like that. So to see him out here running around, jumping around, still having fun and just being in a good mental headspace, it kind of puts it into perspective, like with everybody else, like what do we have to complain about? I mean, this guy's out here working his tail off and still having a great time with it in year 10. Like there's no room for complaining from anybody.
Jeck, here you see Travis and what he does and the moves he's still able to do. Just how much have you been able to kind of soak in what he does, and are you able to emulate some of the moves he's making, just see him do them out of the practice room?
Yeah, it's one of those things where with him being such the seasoned vet that he is, and like having done these things, hundreds of thousands of times, there's a lot of trust that goes into doing what he does from quarterback standpoint, everybody else. With that being said, like, yeah, I mean, I still study how he runs routes and how he approaches the game every day. I'm always trying to pick his brain. I'm always trying to, just find these little types of intricacies in my game that, could make me better. So, I mean, yeah, I'm always studying him and just trying to figure out, what I can do to, just kind of take that next step.
How supportive were guys like Travis and Noah as you were going through that rehab process to kind of get you back to where you needed to be both physically and mentally?
Yeah, they were huge for me. I really view those two guys as like older brothers to me. I mean, from day one, it's been nothing but love from them too. I can't say how much I appreciate them and how much that they've done for me. Just on the field, off the field, just however they can, they've always been willing to help.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Sounds like he was still not comfortable last year with everything, with the ACL, with the injuries, trying to fight back. So hopefully this is a turn-the-page moment for Jared Wiley. Still looking for, obviously, tight end 3, but with the step back last year of Noah Gray, can you find a tight end 2? Here is Melvin Smith.
Talk about your progressions for this camp.
Yeah, a couple guys been out, but I mean, me with the ones, it's just another opportunity to just show Coach Bass, Coach Merritt, and just really help the team with whatever they need me to do.
How would you describe yourself as a defensive guy?
Say it again.
Just trait-wise, how would you describe yourself as a defensive guy?
I can't.
Trait-wise, how would you describe yourself as a defensive guy?
Trait-wise? I mean, corner, I'll be that. They need me to be zone, I'll do that. Well, just whatever they ask of me,
How'd you first land with the Chiefs? How did you first land with the Chiefs?
Coach Merritt, it was like last year draft, and then like the 6th round, he called me. First, I had like a top 30 here, and I mean the connections was pretty tight, and who doesn't want to be under Coach Spags, you know what I mean, and Coach Reed. So my agent told me Chiefs want to sign me as an undrafted free agent, and ran with it.
When did the NFL, being a possibility, really come to you? I mean, I know you were not a big recruit out of high school or anything, D2, but you rose to the top. I mean, when did it really become like, hey, this is a possibility for me?
It came a possibility after my junior year. We had like a junior pro day at my college, Southern Arkansas, and I ended up running like a 4.3 or something, and the Saint scouts was there, and really just after that season, it just took off. Scouts started coming to the school, so I knew it was a possibility after that.
You mentioned a lot about Coach Spags. Just how have you picked up his scheme? A lot of guys come in and talk about how hard it is to pick it up and how I agree with this scheme.
I picked it up pretty good. It's my 2nd year now, so learning under people like Trent, and now Snead is back and stuff. So I mean, it's still opportunity and to grow, but I mean, I'm picking up pretty good.
Melvin, what was your goal expectation going into the season? Is it to be just on the 53-man roster? Was it to be a starter, a contributor?
Really, it was to do whatever the team needed me to do. So if I needed to be a gunner on special teams, I would have did that. If I need to be a corner, I'd do that. Just really, my goals was to do whatever the team needed me to do, honestly.
Can you describe last year for you?
Last year it was a good learning year, you know what I mean? Coming in, of course, like I said, the playbook and stuff, having to learn the playbook, learn how things are ran here. But I mean, last year to learn on the Trent and guys like Jay Watt, Brian Cook, all them, it was just really a big learning year, and trying to soak in everything and be a sponge to them.
What were some of the biggest things that you picked up from guys like that, from Trent and the others?
Really the way that they carry themselves on and off the field, the way that they practice, the way that they move off the field, the way that they study, things of that nature, and just really being on the sideline, just watching them play every rep almost. It was just, I picked up everything from them, honestly.
How different do you feel from a year ago when you were in camp just as a rookie?
I feel way different. Just playbook-wise, confident-wise, I feel way different, and yeah.
What was it like for you just on the field on Saturday?
It was good. Good opportunity. Show what I could do to the coaches, gain trust, and really just to be out there with my teammates. That's all I can ask for.
Thanks, Bo.
That was Melvin Smith, quarterback in year 2. We'll hear from Emmanuel Ogbah in just a moment. Got a nice run on Saturday with the Chiefs. We will see. He's been a dark horse candidate to make the back end of the roster for special teams, as well as a corner. Asked what are his traits. He said man and zone, whatever they ask him to do. Here is Emmanuel Ogbah.
And just talk about how much different it is, how much it's the same.
Just coming back, it's been a long time. I always knew I was going to come back eventually. I just didn't know when. But it feels good being back. I didn't miss the dorms, but it feels good being back here though. So.
Spags mentioned that he's kept in touch with you over the years. You said you knew you were going to be back here. What made you two stay in touch and know that you would be back?
Yeah, definitely kept in touch with Spags, but at the same time, it's like I just knew it was something for me still in Kansas City, and when you have that in the back of your head, whenever there's an opportunity, you try to come back, and that was my goal, and I'm glad I was able to make it work. So.
How much did Chris influence you coming back here?
Oh, I know Chris. I've been knowing Chris since draft prep. Big character guy. Love Chris. But yeah, he's a worker. He's an all-pro. But yeah, just being back with him is it brings a different energy. He inspires me. I inspire him. So.
Emmanuel, what did they tell you about coming back and what role you can fit in with the team?
Oh, just whatever they need me to play. Just attack whenever my name is called, and I'm ready to go. So.
And what do you think of Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas so far?
Talented. I loved watching them out there, the game last week. But it was good seeing them get after the quarterback, playing the run well. They're young cats, but they're definitely talented. So.
Seeing from afar the Chiefs go on to win 2 more after you
Every time I watch the Chiefs play, I get a little salty, But at the same time, I'm rooting for those guys. I know a lot of them guys that were still here when I came here when we won it. But it's always rooting, it's always love. Obviously, when we play against them, I want to beat them. But when we don't play against them, I'll usually root for them too.
In the league for a long time. What yourself do you want to prove this season?
Just I can still play. I keep going, keep getting better. You learn every year. You try to push yourself as much as you can. I still got a lot of football left in me. So, I just want to go out there and just keep balling.
Hey, how would you evaluate the year in Jacksonville?
What was that? Sorry.
How would you evaluate last year in Jacksonville?
Oh, it was cool. It was different. I was with Camp, familiar face with in Miami. So Camp was cool. Defense was solid. My role was, whenever they needed me to, and I was ready for that role. But yeah, it was cool. We went far. We lost to the Bills in the playoffs, but it was a good season for us, I would say.
You were having a career year here in 2019 before the injury. What was that like for you to have that? And you mentioned wanting to come back. Is there some unfinished business element to it too?
Yeah, it was a mindset coming in because I just got traded for Cleveland, so I knew I was coming to a new program and I had to prove myself. That was my whole mindset going in, just to prove myself, to say I still got it. So yeah, that's what my mindset was in 2019.
It's a challenge coming back to camp at this stage of camp and kind of trying to get caught up with everyone else who's already been out here for a couple of weeks.
It's definitely tough. They said football shape is different. I would say that, but the more reps I get, the better, the more comfortable I get out there. But yeah, just learning the playbook and getting after it. So.
All good. You have that Super Bowl ring somewhere safe?
Oh yeah, it's in my safe. It ain't going nowhere. Yeah.
Thanks, Manuel.
Thank you all. All right.
That ring's going nowhere in his safe. A lot to get into with Emmanuel Ogbah, some from Melvin Smith Jr., as well as Jared Wiley and Andrew Reed. But we'll take a break. We will come back. In the noon, we will hear from Joel Penfield talking Royals. A lot of fun to get into with Noah Cameron as well. The Zone. Sports Radio 810 WHB. A little handsy. Might need to watch that. Dude gets a little handsy out there. It's a little, Travarius sometimes got a little handsy. Bashad Breeland?
Breeland had some hands. Yeah.
Breeland got a little handsy at times, where you're going to have to potentially, based on who's calling the game, who the refs, how tight they're going to be.
Yeah, what can I get away with?
What can I get away with? Because Delane's going to either be a lockdown guy that gets Jamar Chase pissed off, or it's a guy that might get 3 penalties in a game, and we're looking back going, can you live with that? We'll find out. We'll talk more Chiefs on the in the 1 o'clock hour with Mick Schaefer, as well as around 12:30. But coming up in just a moment, Joel Penfield talking some Royals, the Zone. Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Sterling Holmes. We got Deebs back there, baby. Handful of Deebs back there on the 1 and 2s. Joel Pinfield of KCSN. See, Joel, you didn't understand that. His Instagram handle, I'm pretty sure, is a handful of Deebs.
You'd be correct.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, dude, I immediately laughed. I get a follow request. I get Deebs, or I got handful of Deebs just followed you. And I'm like, well, this is either Deebs or this could be something else. This could be an OnlyFans situation. This could be him or an OnlyFans situation. I was okay with either
Did you
way.
flip a coin before you clicked on the profile to look?
I was okay either way, though. I was like, it's a win-win. There was no losing proposition in this one. Joel, how are you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there, man. Doing well.
Are you excited because Noah Cameron finally was given the green light to go the 9th inning?
I was terrified that they were going to pull him after the 8th inning again. Again, the pitch count was actually higher than it was in that outing in Minnesota, but I'm glad the previous disaster informed the decision to just at least let him start the 9th inning, get someone warm if it gets a little dicey, or if he gives up a couple of base runners, don't want the pitch count to inflate too much, but he got it done, and he pitched incredibly well yesterday.
Let me see, because there's a chance. I want to look at his, yeah. There was a good possibility that in 3 of his last 4 starts, he could have gone all 9 innings.
Yeah.
There's a chance that, I get it. It's the new age, all of that. Trust me, I understand that.
Yeah.
I get the analytics behind it. But part of me just wants that little old school fascination of he could have gone 3 complete games out of 4. Yeah. Which would just be
unheard of in this era, and it's not like people treat 100 pitches like it's some magic number where that's where your arm falls off at 101.
Correct,
but obviously not the case. And being built up where he is at this point in the year, you can go over 100. Not every start, but every once in a while, what he's done the last few, he's been incredibly durable. He's pitched late. He's been efficient, and the thing that I think informed their decision more was the strikeouts. He had those guys in the rocking chair all day,
dude. Yeah.
And common wisdom is 3rd time through the order, average goes up, slug goes up, because you see a guy. It's been the opposite for him in a few of these starts as he started calling his own pitches, where he has guys in the rocking chair even more than he had them early, and you're seeing the strikeouts increase, the confidence to throw multiple pitches in different counts. He has completely changed the trajectory of his season and what maybe he can be viewed as we move forward with what he's done in these last 5 starts.
Yeah, how do we view him going forward? Because, again, it's a 5 starts now.
Mm-hmm.
Since
1.19 ERA in last 5 starts, and that includes giving up 4 earned to the Dodgers in his previous start.
Which, again, it's going to happen.
The Dodgers toss it out. Yeah.
Well, not even toss it out, but you're going to have at least... The Angels aren't the best offense.
No.
We know this. They have a couple of nice pieces. Zach Neto is a really good shortstop. Mike Trout is Mike Trout, even in a down, injured, older version of himself. He's still an 820 OPS guy.
He's still awesome.
830.
Yeah.
Jose Siri is still a solid play. It's not like this is just a AAA lineup. It's not the best, but they still have a couple of guys.
He did what you should do as an established big league pitcher when you have a lineup with a couple of guys and then a lot of Jags are just trying to kind of figure it out, and he made them look like that type of lineup.
Yes.
They had no chance yesterday.
And where is the overarching viewpoint of Noah Cameron? Because you look at it now, and he has now had 48 games, 48 big league games. He has a 3.58 ERA. Who is Noah Cameron? Because if he's that is a third starter?
I think
a number 3?
I think he could raise the ceiling to be a 3 starter. I think he's probably still closer to a 4 or a 5. Innings eating, left-handed guy. He's not going to blow you away with the velocity, but his conviction to throw all of these pitches and all these different counts, he's found a way to work his mix differently in 5 consecutive starts, calling his own game, and I think that is, I'm sure they were trying everything because he was in a stretch where it looked like in any other scenario, without all the slew of pitching injuries they've had, he probably would have been working on stuff in Omaha. But they just by need, he had to figure it out at the big league level, and the way he figured it out was, I'm going to call my own game, and it's completely turned his season around. With the amount of innings he's already thrown 138 and a third. To lower your ERA by over a full run in 5 starts at this point in the year is no small feat.
No.
And I talked about it on my show. I've talked about it here a couple times. If he could get his ERA down to below 4, I think you're looking at, man, like he's obviously an incredible stretch over the last 2 months, but a guy that has figured out how to make the adjustment to the adjustment that big league hitters had made to him. And I think it's an incredible amount of self-awareness, and I'm sure he's leaning on guys like Lugo and Walker who called their own game as well to figure out the ways to work around this, but it's made a massive difference for him, and I don't think the catcher will have the pitch comm device for the rest of his career.
So, couple thoughts on that. With him calling his own pitches, and we're seeing this as a result, is there an overarching takeaway for the entire pitching staff, or is this just a special one-off in Noah Cameron?
I think maybe it's just a special one-off. I mean, I would love to. I don't know the rest of the league, like what the percentage of guys that call their own game versus guys that trust their catcher to do it, or there are even some teams that have the pitching coach call it from the dugout, like it's high school or college, but that's their philosophy. It is an interesting, dynamic, but it seems like, I imagine, having guys like Lugo and Walker who are 10-plus year vets that have done it for the entirety of the pitch comm era, that he has those guys to lean on to figure out, how they work on these things in their game plans. But it's a level of trust that the catcher has in the pitcher. It is the pitcher having conviction in their preparation to go out there and make it work. And it's obviously paid huge dividends for him.
What's interesting is, if you look at it, he had 24 games last year, 24 games this year, 138 in the third inning.
I noticed that today.
138 in the third inning.
Yes.
He has more strikeouts. His
walks are the same.
Whip is a little higher. His walk rate this year is 7.4. His walk rate last year was 7.7, so basically the same. His expected ERA last year was 4.07. This year it's 4.17. I mean, it's not like he had that brutal stretch. I mean, he did.
Yes.
He started off strong, had a brutal middle of the season.
Yep.
It was like 5 good. Was that like 15 bad and like 5 good? It's basically what he's been on almost. Right. I feel like the analytics and the underlying metrics, especially for the last 5 starts, have backed up what we've seen.
Yes.
And I don't think he's ever going to be a 1, because strikeout numbers probably will never be there, and that's always going to add a lot of variance to your game. But
absolutely.
Again, he's going deep into games now. He's getting a little more swing and miss over the past 5 weeks. He clearly is comfortable keeping guys off balance. I think he can be a legit number 3, but do we see the analytics backing up what we've seen the last 5 starts?
I think a lot of it is he's not throwing his four seam as much as he once was. That was his primary pitch for a lot of the year, and that pitch was getting hammered, and it didn't allow the slider and some of these other pitches that have been good for him last year to be as good as they were, allow the secondaries to play. He's almost pitching backwards in a lot of ways, and that's something you're seeing more in this era of baseball, and not just exclusive to the Royals, but other teams have guys throwing cutters and sliders more than they're throwing their four seam. Like, they're working these breaking pitches to make the fastball play up, unless you have a Jacob Mizorowski type fastball, or just like an elite pitch shape fastball. You're throwing your breaking stuff more. And what he's done in these 5 starts, and there's some pattern that you're seeing, he's throwing his changeup more, but the way he's mixed his percentages. In the first outing against the Tigers, he went cutter, changeup, curveball, four seam, like 1 to 4 as his top 4 pitches. And then the next outing, the one in Minnesota where he took no hitter into the 7th, changeup, cutter, curveball, four seam. So kind of similar, but throwing the changeup more. Then he faced Minnesota again, back-to-back starts. Changeup, slider, four seam, cutter. And then his last outing against the Dodgers, changeup, cutter, slider, four seam. And then yesterday, slider, changeup, curveball, four-seam cutter. So he was working his slider and his changeup more than he was throwing the fastball. So it makes the fastball play up a little bit more when you're kind of getting lulled to sleep with off-speed stuff, and then bam, it's 93 top of the zone, and he's getting swing and miss on it.
Because you look at it, he's actually thrown more changeups and four-seamers to right-handed batters this year.
Yes. Yeah, he has supreme confidence in that pitch, and Carter said it post game that it looked like it had a parachute coming out the back, like it was just diving off the table. He was throwing it with conviction, and when you have that the arm speed to make that pitch look like a heater for that first 30 feet, you have guys diving out front on it.
Dudes are hitting 187 and slugging 318 against the changeup.
Yeah,
against the four seam, dudes are batting 271. And slugging 411. And he's still, and when I talk about like the way he's still like the ranking those pitches and the percentages, it's not like it's a drastic number. Like he's still throwing a couple of those pitches 20% of the time. So you're up at the plate, and it's not like a Brady Singer situation where you got about a 50-50 shot to know what's coming because it's going to be sinker or slider. Yeah, he's throwing the changeup around 27%, but he's still throwing the cutter in the low 20s. He's throwing the four seam 18 to 20%. You have a lot of stuff that you go up there, and in any count, he's going to throw 1 of 5 pitches to you. And when you have a 20% chance of guessing right as opposed to 40 or 50%, it just makes the game go in your favor as the pitcher.
Yeah, go ahead, Deebs. I was going to say I completely agree with the percentages and all that, but another thing that I just love what we've seen with Cameron the last couple starts is the pace he works at calling his own game. I mean, not keeping things on his terms too. I love the pace.
He's always been, like, to me, the comp for him has always been Mark Burley. Like a lefty, low 90s, heavy changeup, ground ball.
I love Mark Burley.
I'm a big Mark.
By the way, yes. Mark Burley, was it Andy Pettit? Was this the thing I'm doing where I say if Andy Pettit's a Hall of Famer, Mark Burley's a Hall of Famer?
100%.
Right, okay.
Yes,
I don't really think either should be in the Hall of Fame, but my point is if Pettit gets in, you got to put Mark Burley in. Did Andy Pettit throw a ball between his legs to get an out? No, Mark Burley did.
And Mark Burley threw a perfect game. But that's always been the comp for me as a guy that, he's not going to blow you away with the fastball, but he's going to throw all of his pitches in the zone. He's going to work quick, get ground balls, be efficient, work deep into games. That's what he made an entire career out of doing. If Noah Cameron can even reach like 70 or 80% of that, he's going to have a long big league career.
Yeah, I'm all the way in. Good call. Big Mark Burley guy. You just made apparently Deebs as well. You made Deebs in my day.
Yeah, I had to give you a nice fist pump when you said Mark Burley is the comp.
It was the largest fist bump I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I was nervous that we were going to get off air. I mean, he was vibing back there. All right, Michael Massey. Let's get into, again, Joel Pinfield, KCSN is our guest. Michael Massey has started to pick it up recently.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like 2024. I mean, it is very, very similar OPS, the exact same, actually. 743 OPS in 24.
Yeah.
743 OPS this year. 356 plate appearances in 24. 344 this year. His batting average is up. On base is 301. He's very Salvador Perez in the sense of, you're like, oh, he hits 270? What's his on base? 350?
No. 300.
Barely 300. But slugging 442. Plays a really good second base. Not the best base runner. We know that. That's not his strength. What do you make of Michael Massey, and is this again a piece going forward for the Royals?
I talked about this on did a post-game show last night after the game with Kevin O'Brien of KCSN as well, Royals Pipeline, and I brought this up. We had almost this exact topic of, okay, how do we view this as a potential piece going forward? Because they held on to him at the trade deadline. I don't know what the market for him was, but he was a name that I talked about here as I think they could get something decent for him, and he's a sell-high kind of candidate based on what he's done really since the end of May. Since the end of May, it's a 112 weighted runs created plus, I believe, with the borderline elite defense at second base. And he's been about a league average hitter for the entire season as you look at it. But really since the end of May is when he kind of turned it on as a guy that worked on his swing mechanics and tried to adjust that. Late start to the season because he missed the end of camp. Once that's gotten going, he's been a really good player. And I think in a normal season with a normal lineup without the MASH unit of injuries that this team has faced all year, if he's hitting 7th for you and he's a league average bat with plus defense, you can work with that. And, in any offensive ceiling he's able to reach beyond that is a bonus. but right now he's having to hit fifth for you because of all the injuries. So it looks a little bit different. But even still with that, he's been able to tap into more power. He's never going to be a guy that strikes out a lot, which is what this lineup needs. He's also never going to walk, but he's going to put the ball in play and rely on a ton of BABIP, and right now that's been in his favor. So it's been a good year. I'm intrigued by what he could be. The problem is there's always an IL stint kind of waiting around the corner for him, and that's the concern.
Yes.
To his credit, really, like he had, I think the back flared up on him at the end of spring, but then he's been healthy all year since he's come back to the big leagues. We haven't really seen any lingering effects of that. So I don't know if they've got that figured out or if this is just a nice stretch. And unfortunately, at the end of middle of September, we see something flare up again. That is the concern. You probably need to have a right-hand side platoon. Maybe that's Nick Lofton, and he's obviously the strong side of it because he's going to play predominantly against the right-handers. But then you have that opportunity with Lofton. The only concern there is Lofton, good defender at third, horrific at second base. So you're losing out on some major defense if a lefty reliever comes in and you make that move. So
too many utility guys. That's kind of the thought process that I have. I mean, I think because then you start getting into, well, is Tyler Tolbert your super utility off the bench and your speed guy? Like it just gets to the point where you almost need an everyday second baseman. Because I don't.
I think they were hoping that was probably going to be the thing with Jonathan India, and then obviously it went away in mid-April.
Because I think Michael Massey could be your backup. Plays 3 days a week at second. Hopefully you can give him a third baseman. Hopefully you can get him first baseman. Hopefully you can give him a left field, right field glove. He's a good defender.
Yeah, but he's a really good defender at second. I don't.
He played a little
He's a great defender at second base.
Base.
Didn't he play a little left field?
He played a little left, and he was okay.
Yeah, there was no huge misjudged fly balls or anything like that, but he's not an outfielder.
No, I know. I'm just because I don't know. My point is I don't know if he's an everyday guy because of the back. I don't think you can go into a season saying this is our second baseman. Problem solved.
There needs to be some kind of insurance at second base, like not like a.
But see, if you have Nick Lofton, I don't need to see Nick Lofton 6 games a week.
No, but
right. I mean, so then it comes because if Massey's injured, that's what you'd be looking at, and we always see Massey injured. So what makes more sense? Having Lofton as your backup or having Massey as the backup with a legitimate second baseman?
Well, the problem is I looked at the free agents for second base, and there's not many good options that are right-handed.
There's also not a lot of good outfield help either, especially center field.
Right. So if that's a hole you're wanting to fill, it's either a trade or it's a guy that maybe is what they've done with like Josh Rojas and others that are the non-roster invite types that you bring in and hopefully they – a little change of scenery, they can elevate, but there's just not much there. I think Gleyber Torres is the only good right-handed second baseman, but that's not you don't want to spend a premium on that position, and he's not a platoon guy.
You have Gleyber Torres. You have Jeff McNeil still playing.
Yeah, but he's a lefty.
Well, yeah, Luis Arraez lefty, but he would be your everyday guy. Again, then Michael Massey could still fill in at some point. I mean, yeah, it's tough because that's lefty-lefty. But again, I still think. Luis Arraez can play first base, DH. I still don't.
He's turned himself into a really good defender.
Great defender.
Ron Washington is a wizard. Because if you had looked at his numbers, he was like negative 58 outs above average before this year in his career, and then he's like plus 18 this year. It's the best job he's done since turning Scott Hatteberg into a first baseman in 2002.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, it would be a righty.
Which, that's fine, but you probably...
I don't know what he's done this year.
Not much.
And that's your super. That is
the case for the super utility player as well.
Yeah.
Hell, even at catcher, if you need the emergency catcher. Yeah, he hit 277 this year, but he's only played in 119 at bats.
Yeah, not a lot this year. I think he's been hurt a little bit too.
Yeah. No, I just don't know what to make of Michael Massey because I feel like I've done this with 4 guys, at least 4 guys. Nick Lofton, yeah, he's fine if he's on your team. Michael Massey, yeah, fine if he's on your team. Isaac Collins, fine if he's on your team. Tyler Tolbert, fine if he's on your team. But you can't do it with every single guy where they need someone to protect him.
Massey's in a different tier than Lofton, though.
I would agree. I would agree. I think Lofton is
Lofton, like in the role they had him in before he was kind of forced into everyday duty because of the Mikel injury.
Sure.
He was fine. Like that, you need guys like that can come off the bench and get a hit against left-handed pitching, that can play a couple positions for you. But if you're asking them to play every day, then obviously they get overexposed, and that's what we've seen. But if you're asking Nick Lofton to truly, like, that is his role, is first guy off the bench against a lefty and play a couple positions, once a week start for you against a lefty, then great. But it can't be more than that, because that's what we've seen it kind of get overexposed over the last month or so.
How nice was it to see Bobby finally hit a home run?
That was nice.
Because the power numbers have been lacking, especially since the injury.
Since the injury, but really all year. And it's 2 years in a row where the power has gone down for him.
Concerned at all?
Not necessarily.
I'm not saying like who he is or like.
No. And like, again, it's all relative, because his floor is so high as a player that we're looking at, like, last couple of years, like, man, he's really underachieved to be a 6.5 win player. Like,
yeah, agreed.
There's a lot of that. But no, like the thing that has, concerned me the last couple of years is he can't turn on a fastball. And I think it's a swing. I think it's a mechanical thing, not like a mental, he can't hit heaters. And he's just not pulling the ball in the air. And he is a guy that's going to spray it all over the yard, and he has an elite hand, so he can do that. But if you really want to maximize power outcomes, you got to be able to turn on fastballs. You got to be able to hit fly balls in the air. And he did that in 2024 when he was runner-up for MVP, and we just really haven't seen him do that the last couple of years. It looks like at times when it's a fastball inside, he looks like a golfer that like is like off the tee. You get stuck with the driver and you flare it out to the right. It looks like that. But his hands are so good, it doesn't matter, because he can shoot that ball down the right field line and it's a double. But if he gets his hands out in front earlier, then it's a home run. And we see him do that. But the home run he yesterday got great. It was a slider. We watch him do that all the time, where he'll duck hook those down the line, but he can't do it against fastballs. That part is a little concerning.
His pull percentage in the air is 13.1%. League average is 16.8.
Yeah.
His opposite field in the air is 25.1.
And a lot of those are flares that
are
fastballs inside that he doesn't turn on, and he's late, and he hits it off the label, and it's a routine fly ball.
So just again, if you were wondering if it's just the eye test or what we think, no, the numbers back it up that he is probably going oppo too much and needs to pull and turn on the ball a lot more.
Yes, and like, you're not up there trying to hit home runs, right? Like, home runs are products of good swings, but again, to maximize the offensive profile in total, because I think he is a guy that could hit 40 home runs. Like, he has that type of power, game and raw power, to do that. And in order to do that, you got to hit the ball pull side just to maximize that. And he has the ability to shoot balls to right center and hit them out at Kauffman Stadium even. Again, he has that type of power, but if he wants to be truly like the MVP candidate we know he can be, it is doing what he did in 2024, which is hit 30 home runs, steal 30 bags, and be an elite defender. And we haven't seen it now. He's backslid offensively 2 consecutive years.
The two young guys in the lineup kind of going like ships in the night. Carter Jensen really starting to struggle. I don't mind them still hitting him leadoff to see.
You just don't really have another answer right now.
I don't know what you do. It doesn't like the season doesn't matter necessarily, but I guess they're still trying to figure out, is he your everyday leadoff hitter moving forward? Do you like him still hitting leadoff, even with the immense struggles that Carter's going through?
Yeah, Carter's obviously been really struggling, really since the hitting streak ended at the beginning of July. He's at like $150. The one thing at least that is positive is he's walking 13%, even in this stretch.
Yeah.
So, like, that's good. He's seeing the ball well. I think what we're seeing right now from Carter is a product of hitting a rookie wall, which you can't quantify, but you see it with guys, and you see it in other sports where guys just, you know what, they have kind of maxed out maybe what they are for the year. Combine that with the catching demand that he's had to take on, with Salvi being hurt and ineffective in a lot of ways, that he's having to take that on, combined with trying to figure it out at the big league level at a demanding position. I think it's more a product of that. I'm not concerned about Carter long term. And really, a lot of it is, too, the barrier to entry for offense for catchers is so low that you look at a guy that's around a 700 OPS, and for a normal player, it's like, how good is this guy really? But for catchers, that's a pretty good year. And he's a guy, he's got 16 home runs. I believe he's going to flirt with 20.
Yeah.
He's got near 30 doubles. So the offensive profile is still really good for him, and I'm not concerned long term that he's the everyday catcher. This is just what guys go through at this stage in their careers, and especially with the position that he's playing.
I would almost, it sounds crazy, almost consider like shutting him down. Like, or at least give him like a week or two off. Like, let
him DH and let Luke Maile play a little more.
It just feels like a lot on his plate right now. Clearly, it's started to catch up. His expected batting average, by the way, is second percentile in all of Major League Baseball at 198.
Yeah, it's a lot of fly balls. Like that's the thing. Like to his credit, like that is part of profile, like maximizing your profile as a hitter. Don't hit the ball on the ground. Hit it in the air and hit it pull side. That is not always conducive to the expected numbers being great, but when you do connect, it's a home run or it's a double, and that maximizes what he is as a player.
His pull air percentages. We talked about how Bobby Witt needs to do it more. Carter's is 21%, which is very high in Major League Baseball. Again, league average is 16.8. So
I want to say it's like in the 90th percentile in the league.
It is very, very, very high. All right, before we let you get out of here, I guess Cags real quick, and then there's a couple other small ones.
Sure.
It's okay, Deebs. We have time. I swear.
You're good.
Okay. So, Cags, thoughts on Jack Keglin, what he's done? Because it does feel like, again, Carter started to struggle a little bit. Cags is now starting to heat back up again. Another home run, 22 on the year. Feels like he's seeing the ball really well overall. We're seeing what we need to see from Cags going forward.
We are, and since the All-Star break, he's been awesome, and really in August, it's taken off for him. And in this month, he's striking out 11% of the time. Now, he's not walking at all. He's got to do at least a little bit, but he's making so much contact and he's doing so much damage. You're willing to part with that for now just to see the offensive numbers increase. But he's becoming the player that we're hoping he can be. And we saw this with Bobby in year 2, where the first couple of months it was kind of underwhelming. It's like, okay, when is he going to take that jump? And then around June, it took off for him, and then he became the player that we know that he is. And very similar to Jack, in the first couple of months, it was, he's not really, even when he is hitting against left-handed pitching, he's not doing that. He's not walking. He's striking out too much. We haven't seen the power. And then in June, it's just all taken off, and he's become the everyday player we're hoping that he can be, and I think there's still more for him to reach as well.
Yeah, he's a very streaky player, at least based on, if you ever look at the 100 plate appearances rolling.
It is a roller coaster.
Dude, it is the high highs, the low lows, and now he's back to the high highs.
It's like looking at Josh Allen's passer rating throughout. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's a very impressive. He goes on these 25 to 50 plate appearance stretches that you're just like, he's either going to be incredible or horrible, no in between. As we are starting to wrap up the season for the Royals now, obviously this team, they're headed nowhere. Playoffs not around the corner, so that means the young guys. Do we see any young guys get called up? Anyone that in particular that you want to see get at least a shot?
I did this on my show last week, and the guys that I want to see at some point, it's obviously not an exact science because a lot of these guys are outfielders and there's only so many at-bats to go around, but I want to see Matthew Lugo, who they claimed off waivers from the Angels, a guy that can kind of fit that Lane Thomas role against left-handed pitching. He's got a 900 OPS this year against lefties in Omaha. I want to see Gavin Cross, again, just to see what happens. Brett Squires, very similarly. I have no idea if those guys are going to hit at the big league level, but in a season like this, I want to see, okay, can this guy be a part of this, even in a bench role, or are they just organizational depth and they're just, they're going to be AAA guys and that's all. Jacob Berry, who they just got, seems like he was a change of scenery candidate, and he's taken off a little bit since going to AAA Omaha. Rockefort is a dart throw because I don't think they're going to call him up from AA, but I also
my thoughts. That's who I want to see.
And I don't think going to AAA is going to do anything for him, and I think he has to go on the 40 this year to be protected from the Rule 5. I imagine they make that move. So a couple of weeks at the end of the year, just see what you have in him. Then it allows you to go into next year with, okay, does he need to start the year in AAA or can he push for a potential starting spot to begin next year? And then on the pitching side, Lucas Braun, who has been great in 2 starts in Omaha since coming over in the Lane Thomas trade, and then Carlos Duran, who it looks like a Steven Cruz kind of clone, and just another. And again, I want to see how many positions do you need to fill in the bullpen? Like how many spots can you kind of put into Sharpie that, okay, we know these guys are going to be in there, and then you can backfill it from there.
Yeah, I think you have Daniel Lynch, Nate Pearson,
Stephen Cruz, and then hopefully Duran.
Yeah, I think right now you have 3 guys.
Yep.
I think Nate Pearson's there for me.
I agree.
Even though I know he gave the run on what.
Okay. But in the closing situations that he's had,
he's been great.
He's been great.
He's been great. So I'm in there. I guess for me, Carson Roccaforte would almost be my number 1. Yeah. I'm tired of seeing the light hitting field first center fielders. Carson Roccaforte's a great center field defensively and has power and speed. What are we doing? Yeah, he strikes out a lot. You know who else does? Kyle Isabel in his 620 OPS.
Well, Kyle Isabel doesn't strike out a lot. But
my point is, he's a 620 OPS.
Yeah.
It's not doing you any good. Call him, Carson. Call him.
And listen, he may strike out 38% of the time, but hey, at least it'll be fun to watch defensively.
It'll be fun. Okay? The season's over. Let me have some fun.
No, I want to see it too. Again, if
rock
nothing
the fort,
else,
rock the fort. That's all I'm saying.
And if he's good, then you have your center fielder for 27. But if he strikes out a bunch and it very much is clear he's organizational depth, well, then you have that answer too. At least
just try it.
Yes, it gives you some answers for next year.
I still believe in Drew Waters, right?
No.
Joel Pinfield, you're the man. KCSN, Joel, always a good time.
Appreciate you, Sterling.
We'll take a break, come back to Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. I believed in Drew Waters. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Deebs. Thank you again to Joel Penfield of KCSN. Mick Schaefer joins in the 1 o'clock hour. Watched Scary Movie 2 last night. Let me tell you, Deebs, holds up. So dumb, but damn do I laugh.
Yeah, Scary Movie 2, Scary Movie 3, the meat and potatoes of the franchise. I mean, they're both just so good.
It just, grab my strong hand. Hansel, David Cross in it. What a horrendous movie that's so good. Also, fun fact, forgot about it, way too many bodily fluids in that movie. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but like, in the first 5 minutes, every bodily fluid has somehow been shown. Don't know how, don't know why. Yeah, there we are. Let me tell you, eating pad thai and watching that is a little tough. Okay? I'm trying to crush some crab rangoon. Let me goon over here. Let me get my goon on. Okay? Let a man goon. And all of a sudden I see bodily fluids on my screen. What are we doing here? Wayans Brothers? Don't you know a man is trying to eat his fried rice and pad thai? It's tough. It's rough over here.
What can you do, though?
Power through.
Exactly.
I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep stuffing my face. That's a Sterling stamp for you. I'm going to do it. All right. Let's get back into Chiefs talk right now. Deebs, let's talk with you before Mick Schaefer joins. Did you have any overarching takeaways from that first Chiefs preseason game? I know everyone views preseason games differently. Everyone has their own thoughts. Everyone has their own main takeaways, good, bad, ugly, and different. I don't really judge wins and losses. Doesn't bother me. I know some people will be annoyed that the defense collapsed late and gave up 14 points in the fourth quarter. I don't really care that much if, I don't know, Deshaun Singleton gets torched. If DeArco Perkins McAllister doesn't make a play, I'm not going to be, it's not going to
ruin my day by any means.
It's not going to ruin my day. I'm going to stake up Maloney's and throw some more darts. What were some of your takeaways from that game?
Well, I was on the golf course while it was going on, but I caught like the last 4 minutes of it, so didn't see a whole lot. No, but some of the highlights you saw Cyrus Allen elevate and make that big time catch. That was nice. It's good to see that just happen after hearing good things. It's good to see it. Nussmeier seems to throw the ball pretty good.
Dude.
We've seen him play a lot though via LSU, so wasn't too shocked there. I hear Fields looked pretty solid.
Yeah, he looked fine.
That's something to that's not a bad thing by any means. So I need to go back and maybe rewatch some of it, some more maybe than just the highlights. But I'm with you. I'm not going to read too much into the preseason. I think we have our main things we need to figure out. It's the right tackle. It's who's going to step up in the receiver room. And hopefully we can find that out in the next couple of weeks with the remaining preseason games.
What's funny with Justin Fields, he's really grown, I think, a lot. I don't think he's this great quarterback necessarily, but I think he can be a very, very valuable backup. I still remember when he got to Pittsburgh in 24, and he eventually got benched for Russell Wilson. I was perplexed because I actually thought he did a good job, a fine job. His issue is fumbles. It's going to be fumbles.
Yeah, it's those weird miscues, the fumbles, the turnovers. Just how did he not see that? How did he not make that read? Kind of thing.
He cut back dramatically on interceptions when he got to Pittsburgh, and it continued in New York last year with the Jets. Now, with that came the trade-off of less explosive plays for Justin Fields. But I do think in an Andy Reid system, he loves the guy that takes care of the football. And he obviously still has the legs to make up for some of the lack of explosiveness through the air. I actually think Justin Fields fits pretty well with what Andy looks for now in a backup quarterback. Last 2 years, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks. In the games he started, obviously, because he only started 6 games in 24. Like, again, it's not going out there and throwing 2 to 3 touchdown passes a game. But he's taking care of the football.
Yeah, can you trust him to come in and run the offense?
Correct.
And hopefully with that, Well, hopefully we don't have to see that, obviously.
Let's hope we never have to see that.
But if he can prove he's trustworthy and is more than just a mobile quarterback who, makes a lot of mistakes, like you said, he's taken care of the football the last couple of years. If that's what we can get in a break glass in case of emergency type of situation, then sure.
Yeah. Again, today at practice, just some updates for those that may have missed it. Esapole, if you saw him leaving, Andy Reid spoke. He said it was due to dehydration. Trey Smith and L'Jarius Sneed, both not in pads. But Monster Delane was in pads. No yellow contact, or he did not have on the yellow non-contact jersey. He was full go, running some 11-on-11, some 7-on-7, and he looked damn good. Again, he is a little handsy. If you've seen all the highlights coming out of training camp, he is a little handsy for a corner. I don't know if you've noticed, that never seems to bother Spags or Dave Merritt. Because, end of the day, they understand, I think they're one of those teams, refs ain't calling every single one of those.
Yeah, it's just an aggressive mindset, and I think that's something that they look for and target, and if you could play aggressively and not foul, that's a good thing. So I think they're going to play with that.
He is going to be a guy that in week 1, we'll find out if the hand fighting continues. Because in practice, it's a little different because you're not getting called for it. When he's going up against Rashee Rice, I like him getting the better of Rice. It's like, oh, look how good he is at corner, because Rashee Rice is a known quantity. We know who he is. To an extent. I saw that face, Deebs. To an extent. But damn, is he not getting a little grabby.
Yeah, we all know how training camp goes. The hotter it gets, the longer you're there, things do get a little more physical. So that probably has a little bit to do with it, too, I would think.
Yeah, I would imagine the same thing. Nice seeing Emmanuel Ogbah back. Emmanuel Ogbah spoke today as well. Said, I always knew I'd come back. Kept in touch with Spags, but he didn't miss the dorms. Not surprised. Still has his...
Yeah, he's had a taste of how some of the other teams in the league operate, and maybe that's one thing he wasn't looking forward to when he came back.
But do you think he's looking forward to winning again? Because
I hope so.
He still has his ring. His ring is locked in his safe.
I really liked Emmanuel Ogbah his first stint here. I really did.
You know what's hilarious about it, too? I remember looking this back. He only played 1 year in Kansas City.
It felt like more.
It felt like 3, right? Like it felt like Ogbah, yeah, he was here like 2-3 years. 1 year. Just the Super Bowl winning year. And then he signed that deal. He only played 10 games.
Well, he made a lasting impression in those 10 games.
He had 5.5 sacks in those 10 games. And they won a ring.
Rings cure all.
I just found that who has the shortest tenure and the best viewpoint? Because Ogbah was up there. I was going to say Terrell Suggs.
Oh, Sizzle?
T-Sizzle?
Yeah. Let me keep thinking, though.
Ty Law. I'm talking about guys that won recently. 10 games is up there. Because he did not play in the playoffs.
No, because he got hurt towards the end of the year.
He got hurt. So he only played 10 games total for the Chiefs.
I mean, for me personally, I loved Steve Wisniewski, the guard we brought in off of his couch
from the Steelers
in 2019. Yeah, he was
former
great.
Steeler. Yes, Steve Wisniewski. That's a good pull. Great pull. I like that. Kyle Long. Never played a single snap. Chiefs legend.
This is a fun thinking game here of who can I think. Yeah.
Like who's the guy? Kyle Long might have the best Chiefs memory for a guy that never played a snap. Top 5 easy. Justin Ross is still going to be in that mix. Josh Gordon.
Yeah, Josh Gordon's a good one, yeah.
In that mix. But nice to see Emmanuel Ogbah back. Only a half sack last year. Didn't get a lot of playing time with Jacksonville. Played in 13 games. Had 5 the year prior. 5.5 the year prior. We'll see. We'll find.
Do you remember Josh Gordon's touchdown he scored with us? It was the most drawn-up touchdown. Let's get him a touchdown. That massive just tunnel screen we threw to him on the goal line.
Oh, dude. Anyway,
a lot of people could have scored
Nick Allegretti could have caught that.
That was
Walston.
let's throw Josh a bone here.
That's what it was. Andrew Wiley could have caught that in Walston.
Loved Andrew Wiley.
Big Wiley guy. Got a text. Someone says Mike Pennell. Yeah, but Mike Pennell was here so long.
Yeah, maybe that first stint of Mike Pennell.
Yeah, I love Mike Pennell. He was a huge factor in that playoff game against the Titans to stop
we'll
down.
stay at the same position group. Danny Shelton.
Danny Shelton, good
one of the
pull.
largest human beings I've ever seen.
Yeah, because how many games did he play for KC? He played 50 games. Pennell played 5 years. That's his longest tenure of any team. I can't get to Pennell.
Dare I say C.J. Spiller?
See, now there's a guy that came back and forth many times. Darwin Thompson, D-Train. Didn't he score a playoff touchdown?
No, he's the one who recovered the kickoff fumble the Texans had.
Yes.
And, the ball pops in the air, he catches it, he looks around going, am I allowed to advance this? Because he was a rookie. And in college, I don't think you could. But he ended up doing it, and Darwin Thompson, the little guy, who was like a freakish strength guy.
Darwin Thompson had 2 carries for 7 yards in the 2019 playoffs. We may have found it. It is the D train. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll start naming more random Chiefs players on the other side. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810, WHB, Sterling Holmes, Deebs. Mick Schaefer joins that one. We were just being guys talking about dudes in the last segment. Got some good ones. Brian on Twitter, Kyle Orton had his moments.
He beat the Packers.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, I was at that Packers game. That was a great one.
Kyle Orton's a great pull. Easton.
Brady Quinn had started the game that same season.
Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon or Melvin Ingram. Yeah, that's kind of along the lines of Kyle Long.
Melvin Ingram was a good one, yeah. I got a really random one. Chad Hall. Air Force.
I love this. I love guys naming dudes. It's just enjoyable. It's just enjoyable. Let's talk about another dude, Jared Wiley. Jared Wiley made a great catch in that game, but that's not what I care about. Because if you're tied in 3, 4, 3 on this roster, you got to block. It's like if you're wide receiver 5 and 6, especially 6, you got to play special teams, right? Armstrong, you might be a different flavor for this team. You got to play special teams. That's just the nature of the game. So when I heard Jared Wiley talk about his injury, how it lingered all last year, just everything in general, and how he couldn't really lift heavy. He goes, I can lift heavy now. I can get bigger, stronger. I go, okay. I don't care as much about the diving catch. Can you block? Well, him coming out of college was not a blocker. That was
a big red zone threat in college, yeah.
Big red zone threat. But now he's able he said, to dive in, not worry about it, lift heavy, focus on getting stronger blocking. That's what I care about, because that's what this team needs, quite frankly, is that blocking tight end. And if you look at Jared Wiley, that is one big dude. That's a big dude. 6'6", 250, 260. That's a guy that should be able to block. And so for me, when he was speaking today at the pressers, it wasn't the catch and being the getting open for your quarterback and being the safety net, the safety valve, I think is what he said. All I heard was he's now able to lift heavy again, get bigger, stronger, and focus on blocking.
Things you want to hear, yeah.
That's what matters.
I mean, you couldn't be more right. Third tight end's job is primarily to block, and if he wants that spot, it's going to come down to that, I imagine. I mean, I know they probably still like him for that big frame of his and, the red zone target and, what they drafted him for. But for him to stay on this team after having a slow start to his career because of injuries more often than not, he's going to have to get that blocking. He's going to have to really work on that, and it seems like he's wanting to and doing everything right.
You're going to have to, because probably down to him and Jake Brittingstool. It's those two guys. And Brittingstool had 3 receptions in this one, had a couple nice catches as well. We'll find out if they keep only 3. Who is it? Do they keep 4? If they keep 4, there's a little bit of overlap again with Brittingstool and Jared Wiley, and one of those two guys will have to block. Most likely both. I would say Wiley has the better chance just based on size.
And I could see them keeping 4 tight ends with Kelsey at his age. Just having maybe a 3 tight end set where we're definitely running the football. Like, we know it, you know it, we're running the football. Maybe you keep Kelsey off the field for that. If you have that 4th tight end, you bring those other 3 guys in.
I still look at the Rams in general and go, hey, you released one of those tight ends. Let me go ahead and see if the Chiefs can take a look. I mean, because you look at the Rams tight end room, and they just drafted Max Clare, who we saw on Saturday, of Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee, Terrence Ferguson, Max Clare, and then one other guy who was it? Davis Allen. Remember Davis Allen, blocking tight end. That's my point. They have 5 dudes, the Rams. Just cut one. Let the Chiefs have one. Let us have a blocking tight end. That's all I'm asking for. Mick Schaefer just showed up with cookies, so I am going to take a break. Take a look at what cookies we're rocking with back there.
Got one more big name for you, Deion Yeldon.
We'll take a break. Mick Schaefer next. Advent Health Sports Park. Got to go to Blue Hawk because I got to work off these cookies. I got to run around and do a whole bunch of Pop-A-Shot to make sure I can burn some
Is that
calories.
going to do it?
I think so.
Burn calories, Pop-A-Shot?
Or the laser tag. The laser tag, I run around like a psychopath.
You and a bunch of 10-year-olds?
Well, I'm going to kick their ass, though.
Okay.
Those 10-year-olds don't stand
You've
a
got
chance.
a lot more surface area to
bigger
hit there.
target for
yeah,
that.
You call
much bigger.
Now after the cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Call me
Only
fat.
getting bigger. No, I'm calling you portly. Gigantorish.
Sturdy.
Sturdy stew.
Won't fall over in a heavy wind.
Shouldn't.
No, shouldn't.
Yeah. So go work that off today. Does anybody get the Open, by the way? We couldn't get Paul. Do you understand what that is?
Paul Schaefer?
Yeah, Paul Schaefer. I didn't know if anybody knew who Paul Schaefer was anymore.
Yeah.
He was on
it's a pretty
David
old,
Letterman.
Yeah, it's a pretty old reference at this
It's
point.
a Curtis Seabolt reference.
That's
yes.
a Curtis. It's a K-Dog
K-Dog
reference right there. Yeah, it's not one that
think
the
you wrote
younger folks are
There's
getting.
no,
you
there's
think
no
Darcy gets
famous Schaefers outside of Paul.
Do you think Darcy gets
no
it?
chance Darcy gets it.
Yeah.
He's probably never heard of David Letterman. Maybe he's heard of him, but doesn't exactly know his place in the world.
Yeah.
That actually, I think that actually might be the case.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no. I'm trying to think of other famous Schaefers outside of Paul.
Let me just look up famous Schaefers.
Wasn't there a catcher for the Cardinals named Danny Schaefer?
Probably.
I want to say. A lot of Holmeses.
A lot of Priest.
Sherlock.
Yeah. Francis Schaefer. He was
I was about to say, who's she?
It's a guy.
Okay.
I believe a guy. Influential 20th century American evangelical theologian and philosopher. That's your
world famous.
That's your number one.
Well, there's several ways to spell Schaefer too. So.
Yeah, that's the crazy way. Schaeffer. They're just throwing letters in there for
what's going on there.
Way too many
going on there.
Too many letters. Frank Schaefer, who's just the son of Francis Schaefer. John Schaefer, rhythm guitarist of the American heavy metal band Iced Earth.
I haven't heard of them either.
No,
Have
me
you?
either. No, and if
You're
I
a
haven't,
metalhead.
that's not a good sign. Or Peter Schaefer.
Still don't.
That's
know.
a celebrated, apparently English playwright, known for acclaimed works like Amadeus.
It's crazy. It's a common last name, but not a lot of famous people with it.
No, if you have that last name, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, you're like going to live in anonymity.
Yeah. By the way, with Jason gone, we can finally agree. So everyone, raise your hand.
That's right.
Cags in right field.
Yeah.
Here's
Here's the deal. Like, I trust Les Norman on that. He said, no, trust me, it's safer to play first base. I'm like, I do trust you. I wasn't always one of the things I wasn't considering was, the right fielder coming in and running into somebody.
Yeah.
And then who else? Other people said, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But Jason was making it sound like Jack was in a NASCAR out there in right field. Okay?
The cars were flying by
what are
on
we
the
doing?
track.
Like he's bungee jumping or
Like
something like that.
he's in
Yes.
Houston, and the old Houston with the mound in
Like
there.
he's an
and the
MMA
flagpole.
fighter, okay?
You always got to watch out.
Taking on
because
Diego Lopez.
You always got to watch out in right field because John Bones Jones is out there.
He'll be out
and
there, man. You
he's-
gotta watch out. Daniel Cormier, all those old school guys. So yeah, we can finally agree on that. I brought cookies today for dropping the ball on Friday, not being here, but not letting you guys know when.
No,
I'm
you
here,
just didn't
so-
show up, and I was nervous. You can ask Jason. I was a nervous wreck.
I'm sure.
I was like, "Do we think Mick is
Because
okay?"
I'm
Did
your
he get-
only responsibility every day. That's it.
So I was like, "Is he in an
You
accident?
had one job.
Is he in an accident? Is he?"
Did you think I was in an accident?
I did a little bit
Because I'm usually very communicative.
You are, and so I actually was scared. And eventually, you texted Jason, not me, not the guy that said, "Hey, are you okay, man?"
Yeah, I was like, do I text my best friend on the show, or do I text the main anchor? And both were Jason, so I texted him.
I was like, Darcy never got a text.
No. So yeah, sorry, I was under the weather. I never let you guys know, and it was bad. But I'm back, and I brought cookies, and Jason cannot enjoy them.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Unless you want to keep some for him.
We probably should, because if I eat those 4 cookies, I will have the beatus.
You'll lose a foot by
by the end. By the end, if I have 2 of those cookies, I will no longer be here.
These keep too, right? Yeah, our crumble cookies. We'll have every now and then. They'll be out there for weeks on the counter.
Yeah,
so.
that's a real
in the box.
Yeah, real treat. Yeah, what's in the box?
It's a real treat. So my bad.
I was surprised there were 4 full cookies. I thought for sure it was going to be like the guy that comes in with like 1.5 cookies, and they're all kind of mismatched, and someone just went in and ripped them off.
I'm glad I got the 4. I was going to get the 6-pack. 4 is plenty.
Oh my gosh, 2 would be overkill.
It's true.
I'm trying to watch my figure over here. You already called me portly once during the show.
Yeah.
I'm the skinniest guy in radio at the station.
Are you?
Probably.
You talking about weight-wise or just like overall just skinny-wise looks? I'm trying to think who else we have here. You're the youngest.
No, Darcy. I'm not even close. 5'10", 180. I think that's probably about the number.
Yeah,
radio. Well, I know I'm not, but we're in radio. We're in a business where we sit down in chairs all day.
Jason might weigh more than you. He's skinnier than you, though.
Yeah, Jason's pretty
He's
skinny.
skinnier than you. If he does weigh more than you, it's because of height.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is look across the table. And Jason's there.
Wow, I guess I am portly.
Yeah.
All right, getting the preseason game.
I was there.
You were there.
Boring ass game.
Well, yeah, it was. It's preseason, baby.
The Hall of Fame game was fun.
Yeah, the game was electric. That was fun.
Preseason game, Hangs King, Hall of Fame. Stay right there.
Throw him in.
Stay in there. You're at the Hall of Fame already.
Him and Carson Beck.
This was Harrison. At one point, it was Harrison 9 and Harrison 6.
Big Harrison.
Butker over Mevis.
Big day for Harrisons.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was it was a boring game, but I think we all took a lot away from a lot of individual performances.
I think this is where preseason's fun, where it's the few times I feel European, where I don't care who wins or loses, but I just care about like the individual player.
Yes.
Or
like the back half of every Royals season.
Outside of like 3 years in my lifetime.
Right, yes.
Yeah. I have like
it's 14, 15, and 24.
Yeah, I have like 3 years of my lifetime where I'm like, oh, wow, the second half actually matters.
Yes,
All right, cool. Yes. Oh, a Justin Maxwell Grand Slam, and I have to wait until next year to...
That's why I never buy into Jason or Soren's philosophy of like, I don't care if they win or lose, get a better draft pick. Well, if I do that with the Royals, I'll cheer for them 15% of the time then.
Yeah.
If I only cheer when it matters or when the season is still alive, then I won't get to actually cheer for my favorite team.
How was the crowd? It looked like a good crowd for preseason.
No. What are you saying? Did they take tight shots of like 10 people right there? And
I was laughing because it's I think it's performative of the people who... I think there was like 4 cars the night before that tried to park and like stay out to tailgate.
I did see one of the stations did a story on the night before. He had those crazies trying to get in.
That's my point. I'm like, at that point, it's kind of performative, right?
I mean,
I can't...
these people, if you think about it...
it's preseason.
But still, you only got, even with the 2 preseason games here... They have 9 games at home this year or 8. I don't know in the regular season.
I guess
roughly 10 or 11 times your whole year you get to go out and do this, and they love, taking out the grill, right, smoking the meats, having a good time, popping the pops, and so this is just like it's
8 home games this year.
8. So only 10 times you have to go out and do this, and so. I think it really doesn't matter the scale of the event. It's just that they're out there with their Lot J people or their friends and their neighbors and all that stuff.
I'd
and
simply wake up at like 6 a.m. or 7 and then just go and tailgate.
I still think that's too early.
Well, yeah, I mean, I probably would. What is this, college?
How expensive is it, too? I mean,
I can't.
All the meat they get out there to grill. And everybody out there is so nice. They give everything away.
Yeah.
You walk by like, hey, you want these? You want some?
It's like a soup. It's like a soup kitchen.
It's pulled pork
there.
It is. Send the homeless.
Honestly,
to Arrowhead on Sunday. They'll get fed. So I'm not. My brain does not work that way. But I get it. There's a lot of people. This is kind of their thing. They only have a few Sundays or in this case Saturdays every year to do it. So they do it up big, and it doesn't matter if it's the Rams playing and Patrick Mahomes isn't, and It's the preseason, and nobody's there. Nobody cares. They still care.
What did you see from Garrett Nussmeier, and why is he going to go into the Hall of Fame?
All on board the Nuss Bus.
Yeah.
First of all, great
Choo-choo.
nickname there.
That's a train. Buses don't really make that noise.
I saw a guy that was poised out there, right? I mean, it wasn't like he was making Hall of Fame plays. I think Ty Simpson looked better, but Nussmeier still looked good. And so a guy's poised out there, a guy that took a couple hits too.
Yeah.
And stayed in the game. And
he took that one, and I thought, ooh, he's going
in the
out.
end zone.
Yeah.
And they took a timeout after him. Like, oh gosh, he's kind of touching the wrong part of his leg there.
I go, okay, Oladokin's coming in, time to turn the game off.
But
and
he
then
realizes, no, this might be my only chance these next few weeks. Well, you know what I've taken from him is he played 5 years in college at 4 schools, 3 schools, 2? No, just 1. He stayed at LSU, was a backup for 3 years. It was a highly touted prospect coming out of high school. Stayed as a backup for 3 years there, basically. Battled through the adversity. Had that really good year 2 years ago.
Incredible, yeah. Potential first rounder.
Yes, and then decided to come back.
Yeah.
And once again struggled. Was 5-4. He got injured, but he was getting benched before that.
Yeah.
So and was able to fight through it. Have a good offseason, I guess, good enough to get drafted late in the NFL draft and land with a great franchise. So I like that he's battle-tested, a guy that's, fought through adversity and doesn't just always, seek out better opportunity or perceived better opportunity. I like that he stuck it out at LSU and it paid off for him, and he realizes, okay, it's just not there's going to be peaks and valleys. It's not going to be all sunshine and roses. And so that's what I take the most out of the Nuss Bus.
It was a great day for the
rookies.
For the 2026 draft class. I know Delane
everybody but Delane.
Delane didn't play.
And Woods, but Woods is a hard position to stand out at.
Well,
right?
and I saw some people who were like disappointed, like I'm disappointed after hearing all the positives. I go, Chris Jones isn't in outside of one snap, which was hilarious after he said, I don't want to play the preseason, and Spags was like, all right.
That had to be punishment.
One snap. And then he's like, well, yeah, that was it. Sorry, dude. You didn't want to play.
I will say this about defensive tackles. The guy to the outside of you and the guy behind you, if they have good games, you had a great game.
Correct. And so I actually thought Peter Woods did his job. He took on a lot of double teams. It's what he's going to do. But he won't do that in the regular season when Chris Jones is there.
Yeah.
And so,
and look, I don't think, I'm not projecting that Woods is the next Aaron Donald, like Tyrann Matthew said, or somebody. I'm just saying,
Chris Jones.
I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge him by that one performance, because look, the last couple of years at Clemson, he was not productive. Right? There was
well, last year, not a couple. I think it was just last year.
Yeah, he had more, but I mean, it still wasn't like eye-popping numbers.
Sure.
But yeah, last year. So I mean, there's a track record there where you raise an eyebrow, you question it. But yeah, I'm not gonna ride his football card after that first game.
Our Mason Thomas, nice to see him. See something a little different.
I really like that.
Little different flavor, a little quicker.
Yeah, it's funny. Like nobody pushed back at Spags in the offseason when somebody asked him, like, it's not your type of DN. He's like, people always say that. What is my type of DN? I don't know why he's not my type of DN. And somebody should have said, like, a big guy that doesn't get to the quarterback, just sets the edge, right, is more. And so now you have a guy that, man, he really popped out there. Didn't have a sack, did he? But there were 2.
No.
The one, the pass towards the end zone, he deflected or disrupted or hurried, whatever. And then he got to, I think it was Simpson at the end of the half on that Hail Mary that wasn't one. So I really liked him getting around the edge and being a guy that, because I saw him wreck games in college. I mean, you never can tell because the college player is different than the NFL player. I thought he was like, he could be a top of the first round guy. Now he's second round, which is still pretty high. But if he can do anywhere close to what he did at Oklahoma for the Chiefs, that will be great, and that'll be needed, definitely.
Emmett Johnson, I thought, looked really good.
Best player on the field when he's out there, right?
After a guy who looked like he struggled in training camp. I still remember when it was the NFL Network went out there, and the first play to him, he fumbles, and we're sitting like, oh, my gosh.
Well, we see bits and pieces. Right? I remember the play when Xavier Wampa lit him up.
Yes.
Matt Foster he got that video, and he put it out. He tagged Iowa fans and Nebraska fans, and that thing just took off. And so, I mean, we see bits and pieces. So I don't know if he struggled or not. I just know that this guy has been bought in from the get-go, and he wants to succeed. He's a student of the game. He's one of the first guys down there at camp every single day. And, yeah, I mean, he was, I guess, the third string running back at this point, maybe fourth. I don't know, but
yeah, well,
I would not be surprised if there's a 2 in front of his name pretty soon.
Yeah, I was intrigued by the running back breakdown.
Yeah.
Because Brashard Smith was out there with basically the 1/2s.
Yeah.
Which, okay, if you're saying, hey, we want to see what he looks like with the 1s versus 2s, putting him with the 3s and 4s doesn't help us. I get that. What does it mean if DeMarcado is in there at the very end?
Did he play? I was like, wait, we haven't seen DeMarcado yet.
Which would have been fine because if you're like, we know what we have in him, and so. But
I think that's part of it. And look, second and third guys are draft picks. Like you're going to get as many chances.
So what does that mean for DeMarcado? Like, do we think he's
a fourth guy, or
do we think he's questionable to make the team? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, it's nothing set in stone.
No, I know that,
no.
but I think a lot of us, myself included, I just assumed he's the third down back. I'm like, he's safely on the team, and I almost see him playing late in that game as worse than not playing at all.
Yeah, I think part of it is
you would play Jay Knott or something like that if you wanted.
They
just
know what they got
snaps.
with him, but yeah, I mean, look, the other 3 guys. One is the biggest free agent pickup of the season for this team. The other's what was Johnson? Was he a 5th round pick?
Fifth
round pick, and then you had a 3rd round pick from last year. Was Brashard
7th.
Smith? He was that.
Yeah, 7th. Brashard Smith is 7th. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe this Brashard Smith being up that high, and maybe that was their last chance with him to be at that spot.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, moving forward, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Johnson's the second guy or the first guy we see in Tampa. I don't know if they're going to have much of a different game plan for the starters on the road here.
Cyrus Allen continues to shine. I keep going back to this because I'm not a hater, but I'm very skeptical with wide receivers. During training camps and after the draft, I was skeptical on Xavier Worthy. I got bleeped on. I was very skeptical of Justin Ross for 2.5 years. Got bleeped on by folks. I was skeptical of Josh Gordon when he came in. Got bleeped on. I'm not skeptical of Cyrus Allen.
You're gonna get bleeped on the other way.
Yeah, now I'm to be the optimist, but this is one where I'm really optimistic about Cyrus Allen. I think his traits are very translatable. Like, I feel like what he does well, it's not, okay, he's great without pads, or he's great at running up a hill, or he looks the part because he's 6'4". No, what he does well is he's a good route runner, has great hands, gets open, made a great contested catch. It seems very intelligent because he's picking up all the plays. I'm so bought in on Cyrus. I'm not saying he's like a wide receiver 1, but I'm bought in saying he will be a viable piece and a vital piece in this wide receiver room as a rookie.
You said get open there. That's the number one thing he's got, and it comes from being a good route runner. He was open there, and look, it's just one preseason game, and he's playing against JV guys as well, but it's better than the alternative of him not getting open against those guys. It's funny, some of the best plays on Saturday were taken back because of penalty, right? That little swing bat past him. You saw him out in the open and what he can do with the football, which I wasn't watching the broadcast. I don't think they did a replay. I don't know how that was OPI because
there were a couple that were
it looked like the
questionable.
block was within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. But regardless, he looked good in that regard, and so that was a step forward, right? You see these guys in training camp, and it's a curse to be called a camp darling because that just means nobody expected anything of you, and when you're running around in your pajamas, you look good to a lot of untrained eyes out there. And when it comes time to play for real, you're just not a dude. I don't think he's a camp darling in that sense. I think could be a wide receiver 3 from the get-go.
Yeah,
for this team.
Speaking of penalties, Andy, of course, he said a few things we need to get cleaned up. So we still have that going for us, which is nice. Still cleaning
It's
those things up.
football season, Chiefs. It's back. Chiefs and penalties.
About the first time I wanted to ever hear that. When you've been off that
He
long.
say it today. I didn't.
Yeah, he
listen
said
to
it
the
today. Got a
pressers.
few things we got to get cleaned up. When he said, I go, yeah, we're back. It's been too long. Let me hear the first one, and maybe after week 1, and then after that, I never want to hear it again. But
cleaned up.
Yeah, a lot of penalties, clearly. Again, some were questionable, but...
Yeah, the one at the goal line, like, where are you seeing a holding there?
I did not see it at all.
Called.
I didn't even...
It's just a pile of bodies. It never gets called there. And then I didn't like the OPI, and then a couple others. I can't remember.
How do you think Bieniemy took it at practice today? You think he was okay
Cyrus
with it?
Allen, did you hear him after the game?
No.
This Matt asked him, like, what's going to be like with Bieniemy with all the penalties for practice this week? He goes, it's going to be hell. So
yeah, I'm
one
sure.
of the questions last night on Sunday Sound Off sent in for Times Yours was, is EB going to make him run wind sprints for every penalty? I'm like, they might die. I don't know if they can survive that. There's so many penalties. If
That's a lot of wind sprints
for everyone. Was it 12? I think
it was too many.
It was not. Yeah, but yeah, Torwart's crew. They were chomping at the bit. I think to get those flags.
Well,
out.
and again, it's preseason for those guys too. It's why I don't really pay attention a lot to the final score. It's the individuality.
Was it Armstrong that probably could have caught a touchdown pass if he wasn't being dragged there, and they didn't throw anything on that one. So
I thought
it's back. I'm ready to yell at the refs. Football season, we're here.
I thought Andrew Armstrong looked pretty good.
Yes.
I know it's only that one catch, but it was a really nice play.
Yeah, the best thing for Andrew Armstrong was
Brownlee's
drop.
Dude, I said the same thing I said in the first hour ago. I think.
And who's number 7? He dropped one later down by the goal line.
Amari Evans.
Evans, yeah.
Yeah, no, when Jason Brownlee dropped it, because at first I thought it was Armstrong, and I was like, oh, that can't happen. That's bad for him. But then I saw it was Brownlee, like, okay, that's good for Armstrong.
Brownlee made the team last year.
I know. Well, I don't know your thoughts on the back end of the wide receiver room, but what do you do with Nico? I mean, if you put him on the roster, he's strictly a returner.
I get it. I feel like people often dismiss and scoff at four-phase special teams guys, but I do feel like those guys provide a foundation and are needed. And say what you want about Chiefs special teams, if you don't have some of those guys, it could be a lot worse. Now that being said, I don't see the great value that's there in special teams, especially with returning the ball, that makes you say, okay, if you say this, he's not one of our 7 best receivers, but we have to have him on the team because of special teams. I don't see that gap getting covered by what he does out there.
Yeah.
Again, especially returning the football. DeJesus, we're kind of looking forward to seeing what he could do, and nothing great in the return game. So, I mean, if it's wide receiver 6 or 7, I'm not going to get all stompy foot about it, but it does make sense. We're like, okay, we know what Nico Remigio is. Maybe let's try somebody else.
It's a good floor. The best thing for Nico is that DeJesus didn't look great.
Yeah.
Bashard Smith, though, if he can do it, then that's probably bad news for Nico, because I think it probably comes down to one of those two guys. Because I know on kickoffs, though, you obviously have to have 2 guys now, which is still intriguing. It's not just one guy. You need to have 2. Can DeMarcado do it, but do you want 2 running backs doing it just in case one gets injured? You want Cyrus Allen back there because you have some good vision. I mean, there's just different ways of going about it. I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. But right now, I still think Nico is the leader in the clubhouse.
I feel like, return games in the NFL have devolved to punt return, just catch it. Wave that arm and just catch it, right?
And
nobody returns punts anymore.
And by the way, Nico does a good job of that.
The punters are so good. The hang time's so high.
Yeah.
And the spin is just so crazy.
And knock on wood again, we had those issues 3 years ago where no catch it. And then they brought Nico in, and what did Nico do well? He caught the ball.
Yeah. And then for kickoff return, they keep messing with it. It's still not electric, right? It's probably not going to be. I want smarts back there.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Down it here. Okay, you got to return it. Go here. Hold on to it. I want good decision makers back there. So whoever that is, gone are the days of Rocket Ishmael, like
Dante Hall, Devin Hester,
and all those guys returning a kick every other game. It just doesn't happen. People have gotten wise, and coaches and players gotten too good at special teams.
Yeah, back then it was like, oh, Dante Hall's back there. Let's kick him the ball.
Yeah, and you're getting the ball to Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't matter really if it's at the 15 or the 25. Just make sure you get it to him.
And stop the damn penalties.
Stop the penalties. Exactly, yeah. And don't fumble.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. Learned funniest best. Deebs, what that means on the other side, the learned, the funniest, and the best from the week in the zone. Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Zone. Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Deebs, Mick Schaefer. Learn funny is best, baby. What did we learn? What was the funniest? What was the best from this weekend? I learned about Chuck Yeager. Still with the same book. It's a great book.
Broke the speed of sound, right? First guy to do it?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But that's not what I learned about him. You know why everyone talks like in planes? Kind of with a slight, almost like a little southern drawl, like the whole,
I don't know that they do that.
This is what they used to do, and sometimes they'll still do it. It all came from Chuck Yeager because he was always so calm, cool, and collected in all these moments. He was from West Virginia.
They're usually very calm.
And that's all. It's all the
30,000 feet.
Well, all the cadence has come from this one particular guy named Chuck Yeager.
Okay.
Because he was from West Virginia, and he would always get in these situations precarious. I mean, like, again, breaking the sound barrier. He was always pushing the limits to things. And if something would go wrong, he'd just be like, well, down there, I'm up here at 50,000 feet. Looks like something's gone wrong, but we're gonna be okay now, y'all. And, like, that's all came from this one guy. Everyone's like, how is he always so calm and collected? We should all do this because it helps.
So before that, was everybody just screaming and panicking?
They were panicking, like, we're 50,000 feet, we're safe. But, like, because of Chuck Yeager, that's the cadence. It's from this man from, like, the 1940s from West Virginia.
Yeah, I know who Chuck Yeager is.
Well, I know, but you didn't know about the cadence of his.
Yeah, no, I knew about the bigger stuff.
Well, it's pretty big that everyone follows the same cadence from this guy.
Yeah, I feel like everybody would have done a calm voice without him.
Well,
it just makes sense.
Sorry.
Just be calm when everybody's in the air thinking about crashing.
All I was saying was it's kind of cool.
Was this a book that Chuck Yeager wrote about himself?
No.
Okay.
Tom Wolfe wrote about it. Learn ball. Fine, I thought it was cool. Never mind. Apparently, I learned something dumb, according to Mick Schaefer.
I mean, you learned it, but I mean, like, I don't know if it'd stand out to me.
Sure.
Like, this is going to stand out.
Well, let's see if it stands out.
Noah Cameron, 3 starts this season of 7+ innings and just 1 hit.
Wow.
Only this many pitchers since 1900 have had more than 3.
Can I guess?
Guess the number. How many?
7.
Lower.
4.
Lower.
2.
Higher.
3.
3.
Dang, I got that right.
If you guys guess any of the 3 since 1900, I mean, I'll crumble cookie for the rest of the year.
So I assume that means it's not a very popular guy. I am assuming none of these are on the main list, so it's not going to be like a Kershaw.
Each one of you gets 1 guess. I'm not going to leak. You can just run down pictures.
Yeah, I get that. I will go Sandy Koufax.
No.
Dang it.
Walter Johnson.
No. Great guesses. But they're not. 2024 Dylan Cease.
Oh, okay.
With 5.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Also in 2024, Bowden Francis with 4.
No. Good for Bowden.
And then, what would it be, 109 years earlier, Grover Alexander. Was it Grover Cleveland Alexander?
Oh,
Was
yeah,
that
the president. The president did this.
He had 4, which is wild to me because so many guys pitched so many complete games for decades, yet nothing from 1915 to 2000.
Because back in the day, they put the ball in play. It was not trying to hit home runs.
True, it's part of it. Yeah, so there you go. Call your own pitches for the rest of your life, Noah Cameron.
Let's hope he turns more into Grover Alexander versus Bowden Francis.
Yes, we'll take the first one there. It's crazy that he got a 1.19 ERA over his last 5 starts, and 2 of those 4 runs he's given up. 2 of the 5 runs he's given up. The decent bullpen would have. Well, it wasn't errors.
Well,
it was
I know,
the
but,
bullpen.
yeah.
He left with 3-2 lead, and it's like there's 2 outs. Go get an out, bullpen.
Also,
and they didn't, and so they let his 2-run score.
He had a chance of having 3 complete games out of 4 outings because he went 8. Was it 5 2/3 and 9?
Yeah.
Because the 2 8s, we talked about how they probably should have left him in.
One of them,
For sure, one should have. So that would have been pretty fun.
That'd be really fun. I'm proud of Q for leaving him in, although he said if anybody got on base in the 9th, that we were pulling him.
I would have.
He was down
mad.
He was down 3-0 to Trout.
Yeah.
Ooh. Came back, struck him out.
Huge.
Deebs,
what'd you learn?
Mine's a little bit simpler. I learned Sterling's height and weight today. his roster measurements.
5'10", 180.
He talks about that all the time.
I'm a solid 5'10", 180 though. It's like a solid. It's dense. It's a dense 5'10", 180.
You are dense.
Yeah. You're so acute. Funniest for you, Mick?
Funniest for me, I sent it to Deebs earlier. This is on Good Day Detroit, a local morning show recently, and they were talking about what types of, wild animals they would eat.
They go on the show specifically to make it longer.
Yeah, that is if you can provide yourself with food. And again, they're ice fishing because everything is frozen, and you're looking for fat in the beaver.
Yeah,
the beaver is the beaver is the most sought after.
It is.
Ryan, do you think you could eat beaver? It's fat and then it's meat.
It made them all sick, though. They all got sick after it.
Well, you can't eat diseased animals.
Oh, God.
What about a moose?
Yeah, I don't know anything about this show,
Okay.
Dina, but you're really funny.
Okay.
You are a really funny gal.
We want to hear from you.
Poor Ryan can't even laugh through the cyclosporine.
So there's three people there. There's one guy trying to keep it together. There's one guy not trying to keep it together. And there's a lady there having no idea what she's saying.
No idea.
The first guy breaks almost immediately.
He does.
Head down, face
immediately.
face in hands.
Good Day, Detroit.
Would you eat beaver?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. What about moose? I love how she just goes, and the laughter from that guy completely stops.
Yeah, sure, moose, yeah.
He's like, sure, fine, moose. It's great.
Yeah, it was funny to watch the video. He was still laughing, just inaudibly. It was still just a...
His head was down. He was not trying to... The one other guy was like trying to get through it. He couldn't. And she was just blissfully unaware.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
No idea. Good for... No, that's professional. Mick,
what a pro.
I know which guy you'd be in that situation.
Yeah, I'd just losing it, probably.
Yeah.
On radio, I would. On TV, I'm like, okay, I got to keep this job. I
don't think I could not laugh.
Who was it? Chris Parnell, apparently on SNL, never broke. He was known for never breaking. He was best. Like, he was in the Blue Oyster Cult with the cowbell skit.
Uh-huh.
He was the lead singer in it, and everybody else was breaking. He was the only one not breaking it.
That's so good. I feel like, honestly, in the show, I'd be the blissfully unaware one. You're the one cracking up, and Jason's the one who's being professional.
I'd be the Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, who laughs at everything. Yeah. Funniest for you, Deebs?
I didn't really have one, and so right when Mick texted me the video that I just played, I go, that's the funniest thing I've seen in a couple of days. So I said, see Mick. Mick's funniest for mine. Unfortunately, I didn't
have
know.
the assist.
Yeah, it was a good assist.
My funniest, I said it in the first hour, but this is just sad, I think. I don't know what's funny or sad. Let me throw this out for you, Mick, okay? I get a text this morning. Jason's out today. Get a text. I'm like, all right, well, I don't have time.
Bring your A game.
I don't have time for lunch, so I need a big breakfast. I got to get something that's going to satisfy and fill me up. So what do I do? What do I do?
Beaver.
Beaver was second choice.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A was number one.
Great.
So I go to Chick-fil-A.
Monday, it's open.
It's Monday, it's open. In the drive-thru, short line, they're great. Nice guy, Ryan.
Even if it's a long line, it goes by quick.
They're very good, very fast. Guy named Ryan.
Sure. Probably saw him on his shirt.
You know how they always ask for your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
They always ask, who's this order for? He just goes, Sterling, right?
God, Sterling.
My thought was,
He knows who you are.
I wonder if it's from radio. And then I realized this kid's probably about 17 years old.
We got youngsters that listen.
Yeah, probably. Have I been going to Chick-fil-A breakfast so often, this guy now realizes who I am. I am now a regular at the Chick-fil-A breakfast line You know how disheartening that is?
So that's the answer? That's how he knew you?
I don't know which one it is. I'm too scared to ask. Ryan, if you're listening, let me know next time.
You didn't ask him, like, how'd you know?
No, I was petrified. I'm like, I must be going here too much. I will become a very sturdy gentleman. Spicy chicken biscuits, I don't think are the healthiest thing in the world for you.
Did you recognize Ryan? Has he served you before?
He probably has once or twice, but there's a lot of customers that
you
go
don't pay attention to the commoners.
There's a lot of
Your Jeep does say Sterling's badass Jeep on it, though.
But
Maybe that's
on the
it.
other side. That's on the right side. He couldn't see the left side.
Okay.
Is that kind of sad?
I mean, how often do you go there?
I have been going there probably 2 times a week.
2 times a week?
2 to 3 times a week for
No,
breakfast.
I don't think that's enough for him to know your name.
That's my...
And you don't recognize him?
That's my question. I've seen him before there. I asked him, but not like every single time. I don't know if I ought to be known as a regular in the Chick-fil-A
Had he
breakfast
heard your
line.
voice before he said your name?
Good call. I don't know.
Because I don't know if you know, but radio is more of a
but still
audio medium than video.
I don't want to be known as the guy that's the Chick-fil-A regular breakfast guy.
Why? What's wrong with that?
That feels like...
What's wrong with that? Chick-fil-A's awesome.
It's great, but
people got to eat breakfast.
That's true, but I'm not getting the healthy stuff there. I'm stuffing my face with a spicy chicken biscuit and hash browns.
Listen, you don't eat salad for every meal.
I'm also eating crumble cookies for lunch right now, apparently.
You're fine. You can get it back. You're fine. Yeah. I thought I couldn't be more underwhelmed by
that
your
story.
Your learned, but your funniest did it.
I'm really...
That's your funniest?
I guess.
That was your funniest
I didn't have really
thing?
funny things happen.
A guy knew your name in a drive-thru, and that was hilarious to you?
Well, more alarming. It wasn't funny. It was more like what happened.
It's not LAB. It's LFB. It's not learned alarming
Alarmed best.
That's the funniest. I feel like that's just a story you wanted to share that somebody knows you. I think I've pinpointed it. We got there.
I took gummies and tried to build a Lego set, so that was kind of funny.
That's way funnier than this other thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny, honestly.
I want to know, were you by yourself? Because it gets even funnier if so.
There's 2 of us there, and we let me tell you, it's a Ford GTO we're trying to build, and we got to a part where you have to build the chassis.
How long did it take you?
Well, we didn't finish. That's one where we decided to put on a movie instead. At that point, I can't.
See, that's funny. Okay.
I can't finish this. I'm sitting here feeling pretty good. We had pad thai, and man, that's sure a good time. All right, best I think we go to
Deebs.
I'll stick with. I know it's a week late, but I'll stick with Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech. That fired me up. I love Drew Brees. Been a big fan of his for a long time, and I thought his speech was really good.
Love that. Scary Movie 2. We watched
what?
That was after that's what I put on after the.
They made like 8 of those.
The gummies, but Scary Movie 2 was electric. That's the Take My Strong Hand one. You know what I'm talking about with Hansel and David Cross.
No, I probably saw it, but that was 20 years ago.
Deebs remembers this one.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, the Take My Strong Hand. You know, you know what I'm talking about. The ghosts.
That was your best from the weekend?
I did not play good in club championship, so I can't say that was my best. 89's not going to be my best.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
It was a laid-back weekend.
I mean, it doesn't have to come from your personal life. It could be like my best. Joshua Baez, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, good answer there.
0 for 5 yesterday, by the way.
Doesn't matter.
Still hitting 333.
What happened his first game?
3 knocks, baby. Three trips to Dongtown, including the first swing of his major league career.
Yeah. Huge. We'll take a break. We'll come back, wrap up the show, and send it off to the program. The Zone, Sports Radio 810, WHB. preseason AP poll.
Tigers just got in.
You vote on this one?
No, Nick Jacobs does, though, our producer.
Where'd he put Mizzou?
I don't know.
Top 5.
Doubt it. So, no, I've done basketball the last couple of years. I'm fine not doing it. I'm fine just not doing it.
Missouri comes in at 25.
Yeah, I was shocked. K-State got no votes. Not even receiving a couple votes.
I thought they would.
Would. I thought Missouri would be in a battle to be in the top 25. I thought K-State would be 5, 8 spots below them, and I didn't think KU would get votes. Oklahoma State got 8 votes. That should be my best of the weekend.
Utah, if you're looking at Big 12, Utah 21, Houston 23.
Those aren't Big 12 teams, Sterling. I don't think. Oh crap, they are.
Yeah. Indiana comes in at 6.
Yeah.
Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Georgia 3, Notre Dame 4, which means they can lose those 2 games to the only good 2 teams they play and somehow still make the college football playoffs.
100%.
Yeah.
God, I hate it, but I love it.
I don't love
college football. I love. It's back.
I love the program. That's next.
Are you guys at Advent Health on Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, we're the